and welcome to Loot Level Chills, Game of the Year, End of Year, Awards, Ceremony, Specials. My name's Adam, and I'm here with Steve.
Yo.
Kieran. Hang on, don't, calm down. Steve, Kieran.
Yes.
Steve, Kieran, Mick, and Lyle. Hello, everybody. Say hello, all at the same time.
No, I'm not doing it now. I wanted to do it in. I want to do one at a time.
I waited a bit.
You did, yeah. It's fine. Today we are talking about the nicest surprise of 2025 in terms of a game, and best new character, which is, as I mentioned, if you are listening in episode order, they might get a bit spoilery. We're not going to aim to spoil anything unless we have to. For that,
but we might have to.
But we might have to.
It might come up.
Yeah. But we won't. It's not like best story tomorrow and best moment where it is so thematically spoiler heavy. But we're starting with nicest surprise. And I'm scanning that quickly to make sure what's something I was playing today is on there, and it is. Okay, right. Nicest surprise, which is a top 3. The short list is Dispatch, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, The 100-Line Last Defense Academy, Fretless Wrath of Rifson, Shinobi Art of Vengeance, Moonlighter 2 The Endless Vault, Hell Is Us, Hollow Knight Silksong, Kirby Air Riders, Ball X Pit, Clover Pit, The Altars, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Okay, I'll just keep reading. Bionic Bay, Million Depth, The Serafini Productions games, Time Flies, Baby Steps, Motion Wreck, Sonic Racing Crossworlds, Kirby Air Riders and Assassin's Creed Shadows on Switch 2. There we go.
I feel like Kieran's just stuck Indiana Jones on every list.
That wasn't me. That's why I got confused yesterday, and that's why I brought up the other category. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't me either.
It wasn't I.
So did any? It's just on there. It's like
Was it the ghost of Chris White?
Well, I mean, I don't even know what this would entail. Why is it a nice surprise?
Is it the fact that it appeared on PS5, even though it was known?
What? But that would be on here over Gears of War appearing on PlayStation or Forza.
You can swap it if you want.
Yeah,
I think it's probably an easy first cut. Is what it is.
Or hear me out, Mick. I could cut it and add Gears of War and Forza Horizon.
At least we could then talk about games that were surprises.
Yeah, well, I'll delete that. That's nice and easy. That is a nice, easy start. Should I also delete one of the 2 Kirby Air Riders entries? Because that's on there twice.
We should maybe only have Kirby Air Riders on once.
You think once is enough? Okay. No,
that's when he suggests a cut, and it's just still on there.
That's a great new strategy.
No, that is actually very, very good. No, I think I put it on, and I think Lyle put that on. That's how much of a surprise it was that we.
Yeah.
You know.
And maybe we were surprised at the same time, so we put it on at the same time, and we just didn't realise.
Yeah, I mean, possibly.
Can I start with a stupid question?
There are no stupid questions, Stephen.
There are always stupid questions. It's me.
Oh, good point. There are many.
Productions games. What am I not clicking with here?
God, what a stupid question.
That's really
I know,
stupid.
exactly.
Don't even answer that, Lyle. It's insultingly stupid.
This is the Broken Law games, isn't it?
See,
yeah,
Nick knew.
He did. So there were this new horror game company that makes short form horror games released 3 games this year, which already seemed kind of just baffling. It was supposed to be like 4, but they delayed 1, so it's going to be maybe better or bigger.
Losers.
But yeah, they made Broken Law Low, Broken Law Don't Watch, and they also made Ghost Frequency, which isn't a Broken Law game of that series, just a separate thing they wanted to make.
Just things all over the place to me.
Yeah, but they also managed to get these out because these were all this year on PC. Yeah. Some of them are now like on PlayStation 5 too, aren't they? PlayStation 5 as well. That's an easier sentence to hear.
Are they good?
Yeah,
they're really good.
I liked them.
Right, okay.
I really, really like them. I think they're just, and it's just so impressive to see, like, because they came out of nowhere, obviously, because it's literally a company that have never released a game before, and they released 3 really good games this year. One of them was like the scariest game I've played in years. Like, it really, really got me. And they're all very interesting, and then they sort of have things that tie them together and secret endings and stuff like that. Yeah, I really, really like them.
Did they all follow like a pattern? Are they all like first person or third person?
They're all like first person. Like, there's not much to them in terms of gameplay. They're sort of like almost like horror walking sim-esque.
Are they more like Outlast? The Outlast, is it Outlast the game where you take?
Yeah, maybe, but like something
like
like that, but more along the lines of like, there's not so much like managing things like batteries and things like that. It's more you walk around. There'll be some bits where you can die, but for the most part, you're not like having to scour for like puzzles and stuff like that. It's just sort of, it tells you a short, like they're perfect. Like you have a night in and you have a couple of hours free, and it's like sticking on a horror movie but a game.
Soak up some atmosphere.
Are they like Layers of Fear, that kind of game?
Yeah, maybe that's a decent comparison.
Okay.
Maybe
No surprise, I haven't heard.
Maybe we'll never know.
They sound interesting.
I really like them. I think they're really, really good. They were a nice surprise for me. I don't know that they're going to necessarily hit a top 3 , but
well, there's 3 of them there. That's the list, isn't it?
That's the list.
That's the list. Oh my god, we've done it.
We don't need to cut that like right now, do we? I mean, it's up to you, really.
Okay. Let's not.
I just wonder what it was.
Okay. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Okay.
Why is Hollow Knight Silk Song on this list? Someone must have put it there. Why is it here?
Is it because Silk Song finally came out? Is that just the big surprise?
It was a big surprise. It did feel like it would never happen.
Oh god, yeah. I got to the point where I just didn't believe it was ever going to exist, despite everything to the contrary showing it would. I thought, nah, this ain't going to happen.
Is it a nice surprise?
For one person on the podcast, maybe.
I like Kieran a lot. This is good. I'm enjoying this greatly. I
think it's a nice surprise.
But are you so the thing is, are you really genuinely surprised it came out? Because
yeah, it got to the point where we've been told it so fucking often.
It's sunk cost fallacy. They had to release this game at some point. They made enough money to
They didn't have to do anything.
Well, they did because they made enough money to spend 5 years. 5 years? More, maybe, developing a game.
Oh, more for sure.
Yeah, it was going to come out at some point. I
guess it was surprising that it was 2025. It could have been 2026 or 2027.
I'm the wrong person.
It's been in our Fantasy League every year for the last 3 years, isn't it?
But I'm the wrong person to even think about this game because I got a bit bored of hearing about it full stop. Like that, the kind of Silk Song when thing is like, it stopped being funny 2 years ago. You know, that.
I wonder how it's a nice surprise in a way, because like it's not like we didn't know it was coming. It was just like it's going to come at some point. Do you know what I mean? Like
everything comes at some point, mate.
Yeah, you know what I mean though. It was like,
and you know what I mean, Mick.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like I don't know. And I kind of thought it was going to come this year. Like it it's gone on for that long.
Does anyone want it on this list?
Get it out of there.
Are you not fussed, Steve, about it? Is it not?
I'm not fussed about it. I just think it's worth a mention of being a.
I'm being a little facetious just because of how many games we've got on this list, but I don't. There's some really, really nice surprises on this, and that sounds a really lame way of thinking. There's some lovely, nice surprises on this list, but there are some really like. I would have imagined if it was a game. Like, if Hollow Knight was widely regarded as being dog shit, and this is as good as and as well as it received, I could see it, because it would be like, wow, what a turnaround almost. But I'm not surprised that the community took to it in the way they did. I'm not surprised it's as good as people hoped it would be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if everyone's happy to lose it, I'll whip it out now.
Go for it.
Snippity snip.
Okay.
Then he's going to delete the game.
Yeah.
I'll get rid of one of mine because I've got fucking loads on here. So I might as well at least get rid of one now, and then I'll pretend that means you can keep the rest. And I'm going to get rid of Motion Wreck, which was...
the one I played, but go on.
Yeah. Oh, damn it. Well, never mind.
No, I wouldn't be able to back you up. It's very clever, interesting game.
It's a really clever, really good puzzle platformer that like took me by surprise in a way that like I was not I thought like, oh, this looks good, but then it was like, oh no, this is like really good, like really clever. It's like the core concept of it is that you record the motion of your character, and then at any time you can play that motion back to like move in that direction. So if you climbed up like a little staircase, you'd record a straight line up, and then you can do that again, but when there's not a staircase, so you can get high up. And it uses that mechanic in seriously clever ways, and it's just really, really cool. Really, really good game. Very, very highly recommend it.
It's also one of those...
It has the portal effect of making you feel clever for working these out,
even
though
absolutely.
It's not that much of a stretch.
But it's also one of those games, I reckon you could say the game name to 1 million people, and less than 3/4 of them would even know it exists. Which is a massive shame.
Absolutely that.
Okay.
It is.
But
Play it, get it, buy it,
but not on the list, no.
but not on the list. No.
Okay.
There are so many games on this list that I've never heard of. Like, not even I don't even know what a lot of them even are.
That's what we're here for.
I don't know what I don't know what Million Depth is. I don't know what Time Flies is. I don't know what was another one.
They're Lyle games, both of them.
Fretless. I don't know what Fretless is.
Also a Lyle game.
All three were me. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
I
Why are they nice surprises?
Okay, Million Depth will be the next one we cut. I'll just go through them. You know how it
He's
goes.
accepted
It's
his
fine.
fate already.
But Million Depth is a roguelike with a ridiculously dark story I wasn't expecting about a girl. In the opening like 5 minutes of the game are a like teen anime girl, like a very stereotypical anime girl on a spaceship, and you wander around and read like these logs on a computer, and you find out that she just watched everyone else on this spaceship and all of humanity die slowly and wished she'd done more to help them live. And then you go down to Earth that is fucked, and down there you battle by sort of moving a hammer around the screen, and that's pretty much all you do. And it's really weird, but it was very surprising, and I liked it a lot. And it doesn't really make a top 3 for all 5 of us, probably.
Okay.
It sounds dark as hell, man.
It was really it was jarring. It was jarring how dark and also silly it was when you were just sort of bouncing a hammer you make out of blocks around a screen. But yeah, a weird one. I love the others a lot. Time Flies. I want to talk about Time Flies. I love Time Flies. Time Flies is a game. I believe I remember me and Kieran talking about it when it was on like a cozy game showcase like 2 years ago, and it was just like this silly thing of like, oh, it's a fly game where you play as a fly. That sounds like the stupidest thing that anyone will ever play, or like not that big a deal. And I'm probably in the top 1% of people who love Time Flies by how much I love Time Flies. You have 60 seconds where you play as a fly, and at the end of that 60 seconds, you'll die because you're a fly and you don't have a long lifespan. And you have a little checklist. And then you have this little checklist of things that this fly wants to do, though. And they're just these cute, silly little things of like, it wants to make music, so you have to like land on a xylophone, and just stupid little tasks like that. But it also has like, there's such a like meaningful element of it as being like it connecting with, you know, humanity, you know, not wanting to die either. And it like, I can't think of many I'm quite an animal person, and I can't really think of any animals that I connect with less than a fly. I'm like, they're like the annoying shit animal that no one likes. They buzz about and they're just like dickheads. And now when I see a fly, I'm like, oh, I wonder what it's up to on its fun adventure today. It's made me love flies. That's a nice surprise. I'm surprised that happened this year.
I played a bit of it as well. I really liked it. It's quite existential in a way, isn't it? With some of the stuff that you got to do, and also with the time limit. At the start, you pick the country that you're in, don't you? And the country you're in the average lifespan determines how long your fly's lifespan is.
Yeah, it's how many seconds you have is the average lifespan of the country you select, which is
that's cool.
Just
that's quite cool.
Bizarre. Yeah,
I wouldn't cut that personally.
You wouldn't.
No, I've not finished it. I played about half of it.
I have to admit, it is one of those that it was on my list of sort of smaller games I wanted to try, but it just didn't happen. I did like the sound of it.
Not to cut it, but if it's not going to get to the 3, we tend to just like hang on to stuff and then we cut it anyway.
Yeah, but I do that with as many games as possible and then see if I can sneak one on.
Yeah, we know. Well, look, if we're not cutting it, there is another one on there that I don't know if you put on there, but I know you and I both liked, and I don't think it's a surprise in any way. And that's not to say it's not a good game, but I am not in the least bit surprised that Crossworlds was good, because the last one was exceptional. And you'd like to think they build on that rather than go backwards, and they just made another. They make excellent kart races. What was it?
Is the surprise that you like it more than Mario Kart?
That was definitely a surprise. Yeah, 100%. The nicest surprise was like getting a kart racer and being like, "Oh, this is really good. I don't not like kart races anymore."
That's fair. Yeah, that is fair.
But I do think
Mario Kart's taken a battering so far.
It has
Mario
a little.
Kart's a really good video game, but
It is really good, but it's just no one connected with it like they did older Mario Kart.
No,
games, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
I do think that there's another kart racer that I'd rather fight for as a nice surprise as well.
Yes,
so
100%.
Fuck's sake.
That's also a surprise, to be fair.
Very. So, cut Crossworld.
Sonic should go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this list is 75% Lyle.
He's a surprise.
Well, you should have played
he's a surprise
all
boy.
the good games.
What's he's a surprise boy. What's the that's just what he is. He's just a surprise boy.
There are quite a few of them where it's at least not just me that played them as well.
No, but you do, admittedly, you play games and like you're just constantly like all the just
always.
always surprised. It's in a constant state of surprise. It's fine.
That's how I live my life. It's not just games. It's like I do it at the supermarket when I see a new chocolate bar.
Well, that's fair. It's a weird category, right? Because every time I think I've got three that I'm like they're the three I'd go for, I'm like, oh, but that's really that one's. You know what I mean? It's an odd one. I do think there are some easy ones. Yeah, I mean
I have. There's one on there that didn't surprise me that it was really, really good.
Yeah, go on.
And it's one that you'll probably be weirded out that I suggested.
I do think I know where you're going.
I wasn't shocked that Claire Obscure was as good as it was. That didn't surprise me. That was one of my most anticipated games going into the year, and then it was just delivered.
The thing about that is I feel the reason I think it's more of a kind of. This is more of an inside baseball-y thing, I think, because I don't recall there being much access to it until review phase.
Yeah, there wasn't. There was
being a debut game that looked like, oh my god, this could be the game for me, and you thought the same. So the lack of any sort of preview or any kind of access, and then the review build came with plenty of time, and it was amazing, and it was like, okay, I don't know what we were worrying about, but I think if you take that bubble away of this isn't this, it's no secret that anyone who follows sort of online games media of any kind will know the setup and how things work in terms of there's a preview phase, there's a review phase, all that sort of stuff. It's pretty obvious, you can see it. It just, if you take that bubble of this is odd, this isn't happening, I'm not sure the surprise is. Yeah,
I think maybe the surprise there is how much it's resonated with such a wide audience as well, man. Because this has been picked up by so many people, has become really beloved this year, man.
Yeah. I just don't think it's in the top. Because there's a lot of games on this list that genuinely I wasn't expecting either them to be the way they were or to be as good as they were.
Yes.
And we've got to get 3 out of this, and I do think this is going to get pretty heated because I think everybody's got at least 5 games on here that they want in the top 3, and they're not all necessarily the same 5 games at best. So
I mean, if you're all right cutting Claire Obscure, I am, and I think we're its 2 biggest proponents.
I think it's already had some plaudits. It's probably going to get some more somewhere down the line.
This is the category we're okay with it not winning.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Especially when Lyle tells us that he's played it on day 4 or 5.
I have played it. I'm just not talking about it now. It's fine.
Yeah, he has. Is again? This is kind of just to you, Mick, and I think I'm the only other person who's played it. Is Moonlighter 2 really a surprise that it's good? Because it was beloved, that first game.
There because I didn't really like the first game because I thought it was a good, like I said, I thought it was a good proof of concept, but it didn't quite do it. And then this is just I'm not arguing that we don't cut it. I'm just saying I put it on there because it did genuinely surprise me. Because when I saw the trailer, I thought it looks like Hades or Windblown, whereas the first Moonlighter was like a top-down Zelda-esque kind of. So it was like that for a start. Was like that's what piqued my interest because I went, oh, this looks like something I'd actually enjoy. So, and then it was fantastic. And they've kind of upped the stakes in every possible way, and not to knock the style of game that the first game was. That's not what I mean. But in terms of the size of it, the way the shopkeep element works, the looting, the way they've done the level design now, the combat, pretty much because the combat was probably the worst part of the first Moonlighter for me. I just felt it was really awkward and clunky. Yeah. And it's really fast and fluid in this. It's really, really fun.
It's like they took that shop mechanic but added Hades. Well,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
said Windblown. I would agree more with Windblown. I think
Windblown. It's more Windblown than Hades, but it does give you the Hades thing of like you finish the thing, then you get 3 things to choose from, and then like you go back to town and the story progresses because you've been out on a run and you might have met a character out who's random, and then like it's got a lot of layers. And I do think that it's only early access right now, but I do think when it fully launches, I think it's going to be something pretty special. But yeah, I just put it on there because genuinely I was surprised at just how much they'd changed the formula while still keeping that core concept intact. So you can cut it. Like it's only me and you that I think have played it, and I really do like it. But I'm less surprised because I think I like the first more than you. I didn't love it. Like I know people loved that first game, and I thought it was okay. It reminds me a little bit of the Assassin's Creed to Assassin's Creed 2 jump in that, like, I really liked that first game and then they blew it out of the water with the second one. That's always kind of one of my touchstone points of, like, the development jump. And it is that for me, especially when, like you say, when it's finished. I mean, when it's finished, we could be talking at an end of year about it being that good. It's possible, yeah, because it's really fun. For now, I just keep looking at this list and I can see 3 I think you'd fight for above it, and I definitely would fight for those 3 as well. So. There's probably 4 or 5 I'm going to fight for a little bit, but yeah, there's I've got a top 3 already. So I think we need to talk about Fretless, the Wrath of Rifson, Lyle, because only you and I played it, and I will say that I really like that game, not as much as you, but the thing that surprised me most about it was how heavy. I mean, it is a YouTube, it's about guitar YouTubers. That game is starring guitar YouTubers, and it's about how well that's done. That's the surprising part for me. Like, it's really delivered quite well. I mean, I just thought it was a really good, very interesting, like, RPG, and it was a short form RPG, which I always just find, like, I find that just delightful every time when you're playing an RPG and it's like somewhere in the like 5-hour region. It's like that doesn't happen, and it didn't feel like you missed out on anything because of that. Like, it crammed a ludicrous amount into that runtime to the point where there'll be like weapons that you just don't use because you kind of don't have the like time to do so. Almost like it made me want to replay it for that. To you, once you told me that. So, long story short, I had a problem where basically there was an update pre-release. My save disappeared. Yeah, you got fucked, didn't you? Yeah, I did. But I wasn't that gutted because when I wanted it to be that this massively long and a totally unfair expectation on a small developer. But when you told me quite how short it was, I was like, I was really getting into it, and I wanted it to be that. Do you know when you get that, you want that really meaty, like Sea of Stars, you want that meaty, I want to be playing this in 3 weeks time, not I want to be finished in this in 3 days time. And like, I do think it is very surprising, and I think the YouTuber stuff, like I say, I want to say you wouldn't have known about them because it's not your world. No, I basically didn't know any of them at all, and it didn't really detract from it for me. It was just that it was themed in a way that just seemed normal for a game, but it was very clever. It seems like one I should jump on at some point, given the fact that short form appeals to me, and I will know the characters. Probably. That's my area of the YouTube and the internet. So, well, also like so I love the acoustic guitar stuff and like the electric guitar and the bass stuff, and there's like the synthesizer weapon that is really cool and uses all that terminology that you know and that I don't know so much. Like I don't see how you'd not like this. Yeah, just want to jump on. But I think it's a cut. It's a cut if you're not that keen on it as the other person who didn't like, but not to Nicest surprise level, you know. I mean, I'm almost looking at, like, I can see a list of 3 here Mick would pick that I agree with, and then I can see a different list of 3 you pick, I think that I would agree with, and I think the same. Well, not Kieran as much because I know what he's going to say. I mean, I almost want to start suggesting locks, but it just seems too early. And sort of impossible. I think we've got to get rid of at least 3 or 4 more before we can start looking at locks. Is Assassin's Creed Shadows an easy cut? Oh yeah, easy cut. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to give it. That's what I thought. But I'm just looking for ones that I think we can get through. But tell us about it because you played the Switch port more than I have. I played a little bit, and it is impressive. It's a good port. I was really surprised at how good a port it is. It runs really smooth. They've done some wizardry with VRR on the handheld, so it extends the window basically, so it just runs better.
And I'm also quite surprised people are arguing about if it's a good port or not, because this is a game from 2025.
Yeah.
You know, one of the best looking games of the year that they've squished down and got running smoothly on the Switch too, which I think is really impressive.
Is it the Ubisoft thing again? Because you know what you're talking about. If I were to dub you saying The Witcher 3 on Switch, do you know what I mean? Then everyone was amazed and how this looks. Is this there is not many companies outside of perhaps EA that gets the hate Ubisoft does.
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, I think it's an impressive port. It's not one of the nicest surprises of the year, but it did surprise me just how well.
I mean, with regards to the port, like I would just, my question would be, what did you want it to do? What did you actually want from this port? If you think it's bad, like the Switch 2 has been out 6 months nearly ish, give or take. We already know what this machine can do now. We did in time. Obviously, the longer it's out, the more people get development kits. You know, we know it can do amazing stuff like No Man's Sky looks great on it, but. It is what it is, isn't it? Like what they've actually done. This is I think this is Witcher levels, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean it's like I said, it's the full game squished down, and it runs really smoothly in handheld mode.
It does.
Like it's really impressive.
But it's
and the fact you can just pick up and carry on from where you were previously as well, man, is always killer.
Well, it's actually interesting. I don't know, Kieran, if you had this. We will move on as we are cutting it, as we said. But just briefly to mention. Normally with a Ubisoft game, you have to enable the cross-save stuff and like upload your save. I was a bit confused because I couldn't find that option. It's just done automatically. It's all just cloud done now in the background. So you just,
that's so cool.
As long as you are...
That's how it should be, man.
But it just hasn't been. Like even Star Wars Outlaws wasn't that. You had to upload your save, load your save once on a PS5, enable Ubisoft Connect, whatever they're calling it now, then download that save. With this... If you are logged into Ubisoft Connect on your, say, PS5 and your Switch 2, it just transfers between the two. It just does it, and that's
pretty sweet.
That's pretty good. That's cool because it means you can because the thing I'm struggling with, like with Outlaws, with the ports, is that like I have a console in the same TV setup that it on a PS5 Pro, same as you, Kieran, in fact.
Yeah.
But the fact it's properly just like cloud, like they're almost the same system, means you could. Just carry on your save out on Switch 2 if you're away for a week or anywhere, and that
in the bathroom possibly.
You could
probably, yeah.
But it's cut, as you say. We're down to 12. Shall I just quickly refresh the list here? So Dispatch, the 100-line Last Defense Academy, Shinobi Art of Vengeance, Hell Is Us, Ball X Pit, Clover Pit, The Alters, Bionic Bay, Serafini Productions Games, Time Flies, Baby Steps, Kirby Air Riders.
I think, is it not time to get rid of the Serafini production games?
Probably. I have like 6 or 7 that
That's
I'd like
what I'm
to keep,
thinking.
so
like, there's several games on here that Lyle's probably going to be the only one fighting for, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And, I've given them their due, that they are really impressive. I can't wait to see what they bring out next. They've got at least 2 more games announced coming pretty soon.
Yeah, they've got one announced. Is it a new one that's coming to PS5, or is that one of the old ones early in the year, I want to say, or have I made that up?
I have no idea, but I mean, there's definitely one coming early in the year that's something. Yes,
there's a Broken Law game, isn't there, due as well? Another one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about
Lyle.
one?
Go on. No.
One for a few of us that I think might be a potential lock in Bull Pit.
I think that's a lock.
That's a lock.
See?
Yeah.
Yes, Mick.
I was hoping that was a lock.
Mick.
Yeah.
Boy. That's the most excited I've felt so far.
That's genuinely a lock. I considering I even tried it and didn't like it, and then we're like,
but that's what Steve did.
Same as me. That's exactly what I did.
And now I've been playing it just non-stop on the deck, just like it's just.
Can I just have a little brownie point from Lyle here in how hard privately you and I were chatting and how hard I convinced you to like just give it one big session.
Oh well, you know what?
Whatever
Adam wants in one of these categories later,
that's all
I'll accept it.
I do think that's a lock for us because as well, it genuinely did come out of nowhere for me. Like I had no idea what it was, and it was just like, and like I said, to the point where I looked at the trailer and I was like, why is Lyle saying this is like a 10 or whatever it was that he scored? And then
I see balls in your sleep. Well, that sounds.
Well, I do anyway.
Well.
And then I was like. And then I tried it, and I was like, "No, this is crap. I don't understand."
This is the same thing Steve was saying to me. Like, what's wrong with Lyle?
We went through the same process, man.
And then I thought, you know what? Everybody says this is so good, so I'm gonna give it like as I did with another game on this list, but I had different experience. And I thought I'll give it its due. I'll give it 2 hours, And 4 hours later, I was like, I'm playing this now tomorrow as well, and that was it. And it's just such a fun little game like this, and it's just layers and layers and layers and layers.
Mate, I was watching a YouTube tutorial today, one of those 25 things you need to know before you play, and I'm like, yes please, and I'm looking at them going, I know all that shit. Catch the ball, of course you catch the ball. Didn't know that at the start, but I worked it out. But we're
I think it's just the way it just keeps throwing new things out, like the characters. I obviously didn't know there were new characters, and then how you unlock them, you find a blueprint, you build a house, but then you have to build the house with materials, and then you have to use your little characters you've unlocked, and the more characters you unlock, the more characters will go and build for you. And then there's characters where there's like 2 of them, and you can fire 2 balls at the same time, and it's just wicked. And then like even how you unlock levels by completing the level with extra characters, with other characters, so it encourages you not just to play it again, but to play it with a different. Oh, that's just really good.
I feel like Lyle's sat there like a sort of proud father, like this is just
I need to add something to moment of the year tomorrow, and it's this. It's right now, this moment.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, Kieran's very quiet because you're not as big a fan of it, are you?
I like it. I just haven't played that much of it. I need to get it on some sort of handheld, really.
It's perfect.
But it's a good game.
Just to grab and do like a 15-minute run.
So right, we are locking Ball Pit. Before we had such a wonderful moment, best moment of 2025 for 2026.
Yes.
Before we had that, I was going to ask Lyle a question that I don't want to ask, but again, it's one of those where it's like there's 11 games on this list, it has to be 3. I'm not surprised the 100 line was good.
I have feelings on the surprise factor of the 100 line that I would like to bring up that are quite multiple, to be honest, because, I mean, what was Raincode, the game before the 100 line?
Shit,
that was not good, that people did not like.
I hated that.
Yeah. So I feel like that alone means that the 100 line being fucking amazing is surprising in its own right, but also the fact that the 100 line is like the 100 line itself as a game is surprising. Like you play this full like 20-hour-ish game. I mean, it was a long time ago I played it, but you play through this full run of that's like 20 hours long of this game, and that's how you find your first of like 100 endings, and it opens up to being like, I think it would be ridiculous for like, because I haven't seen everything that the 100 line has in
I'm not
its
convinced
entirety.
anyone has.
And and it's literally a game that I think it would take like hundreds to thousands of hours to see everything. And how does this game have that much content? Like, I don't understand it. It is maddening, and
how much have you put in, Lyle?
I have put in hundreds of hours, but I don't think maybe like over 100. But I don't know that like I've seen like 6, 7, 8 endings, something like that. But like there's lots more. Like
it's extravaganza.
It's wild. Like I don't know how did a game like this get made? Like how was this allowed? Fair. It's one of those that just is like, I don't know how did this get greenlit? How was someone allowed to have a team working on this much game?
It's difficult because I sort of don't want to. I know Kieran's going to play this, and I don't want to spoil it, if that makes sense.
And the next category, and then the one after that, are going to make that difficult too.
It is, but it's one of those. It's the game. If you played it 2 credits once, is a really really good video game. It's a really
like
good
a 9 out of 10
game.
Really good time.
Yeah, but what they do. It's very near Automata, but more. I don't want to spoil it. I really don't want to spoil it yet. Like I feel like it's one of those.
Happen.
Get it out there, Adam.
It's going to happen in the next round.
But in my head, I'm not sure if it. I'm just thinking of everyone else in the room. Like, does it still even with if Lyle and I spoil what makes this quite that special? Does it actually make a 3? Given
the trouble with this is,
or do we wait a bit?
The trouble you've got is that if this game is a lock as well, how
that's exactly
we've got
what I mean.
Like 9 or 10 of the games yet to even get. We haven't even spoken about like 6 games on the list.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm getting at. Like,
Bionic
is it worth
Bay
spoiling
still,
it? Well, Bionic Bay, we can cut Bionic Bay, I think.
I think so too. It's really good.
Really good.
Yeah, it was an
2D
interesting
platformer.
little platformer.
Excuse me. Yeah. But
Portal Cross N+.
yeah, but in comparison to some of the games on this list, it's a very, very good game, but it's not on the same level as some of these games. So in terms of nicest, it did come out of kind of nowhere, but then
it did.
I feel like Dispatch kind of came out of nowhere for me, like massively.
Dispatch
so.
I didn't even know about Dispatch until you messaged Kieran about the review. That's how much of a surprise that
and
was.
I would also add that, like, and I don't think you'd be expecting this, Mick, but I'm fine. I think Hell Is Us is incredible, very surprising that game exists in the modern era.
Yeah. That's what I was going to talk about, because obviously Hell Is Us and The Alters are two that I put on there, which no one's brought up, so I haven't discussed yet.
Well, I would say, if I'm honest, as much as I love The Alters, I think Bionic Bay's a cut. I think The Alters is a cut because it doesn't surprise me after the demo, and given the studio that's behind publishing on it, 11-bit studios have kind of become one of those devs where they're like, they did, they were the publisher for, oh my god, the Thaumaturge. Like but also like all the other, like, oh god, what's it called? Is it Frostlands? What's it is
Frostpunk.
Frostpunk. Yeah, like they have kind of got a hit ratio of like all of them. Like,
and I mean, The Alters is going to come up in story and moment a lot.
That's the thing,
So it's like, I don't mind that. And again, I think me and you played it, and if you weren't particularly surprised by it being good, and I wasn't really surprised that it was good, because I'd also played the demo, admittedly.
Yeah, this is the thing.
And like, so I did kind of know a little bit about what to expect. I think I was more surprised, and again, it's more stuff in story and things like that, but I was more surprised that it did certain things in the story that it did, if you know what I mean. I mean, that The Alters you can absolutely cut if you're going to cut Bionic Bay.
Let's get rid of 2. Then we're under 10. Like, that's pretty impressive.
We are. What have we not? I mean, Dispatch we sort of touched upon. We've talked about 100 Line. We need to talk a bit more about Hell Is Us. I think Mick and I at some point.
Yeah,
we need to talk about Shinobi, Clover Pit.
We really need to discuss Baby Steps. We have to discuss Baby Steps. Because I know you guys think that was a really nice surprise, but I fucking really hate that game with so many different reasons. Like, it's very unique, but like lots of things are unique. Unique doesn't necessarily mean good. Like, it is genuinely very unique. So I guess it is a surprise, but like I gave it 2 hours. I did. I really tried to like it. And I thought, to me, it just feels like another version of Getting Over It, or Fall Guys, or
a 3D
or Gang Beasts. It's a game that is about people falling over. And and I know Kieran's really passionate about the story, but like, I played for 2 solid hours and the story was nothing to me. And I know we can talk about it being a fucking deconstruction of the modern man, but I mean, so was the
I'm not going to do that, don't worry.
Not yet.
If I can, on Baby Steps, there's a few. The things that surprise me are, I don't really do difficult games. The hardest thing I think I've ever finished is probably Elden Ring, and I did cheese that with magic.
That is valid. If it's in the
cheese
game,
and Elden Ring's allowed.
Well, yeah,
and Baby Steps now.
I got people in at the end help with
things in their game.
Yeah, whereas this is like the sort of thing I hated it at the start. When I started reviewing, I was thinking, how the fuck, what am I supposed to write about this? I fucking hate it. This is like, it's taking up all my time and I'm making no progress. It's making the trigger on my ally squeak, which was concerning. Considering
broken
I can't easily replace it.
Controller, man, fuck.
Yeah, but it's so compelling, and I think it was that loop of, you can see in the distance where you need to go at all times, because you're always going up the mountain. You can see where the next bonfire is, or the next campfire is. Sorry, and it's really smart with how much progress it lets you lose. So at the start, it did feel a little bit unfair at times, but the further on you go, you start seeing almost like, you can almost see routes through them up the mountain, essentially. And it's basically, checkpointing. It's almost got checkpoints, but without actually having the checkpoint. So if you fuck up and lose your progress, you'll lose maybe 5-10 minutes, but you'll always end up back at the same spot. Wherever you are in that sort of area and you fuck up, you'll end up back at the same spot. So you never feel like you've gone too far, essentially. You never feel like I've just lost an hour of my life and not.
And there are so often ways that you'll be like, well, there is a riskier route I could take that will make that less time, you know?
See, I did appreciate some of that. I did appreciate that there's some, like when you see the bonfire at first and you make your way up. And then I appreciated little things like that. I saw a bucket on the other side of a bridge and I was like, I could go this way up this path, but I kind of want to know what the bucket does. And then he just puts the bucket on his head. And then so I do appreciate that there's that sort of element to it. But again, like that whole like it is a walking sim, so having checkpoints there's nothing, like I don't think it's a clever game. Like I don't think it does anything that is like this is worthy of. I don't think it does anything that's like this is worthy of merit.
We are talking more on the merits of the game as a whole here. When this is a nicest surprise category, so I don't want to stop you rebuttaling there, Kieran, at all, obviously, but for this category, like.
It's the story as well, to be honest. The story is the biggest surprise. I didn't expect it to have a story. I mean, I've only played a little bit of what's the other game called again? Getting over it. Yeah. So I don't know if that is the same. It might be.
I don't think that has a story. But again, like I said, I did 2 hours of baby steps, and I could tell there is a story. Like, you know, Nate's busting for a piss, and I get the whole like people keep trying to offer him help, and he's like. But even like Nate as a character just kind of irritated me because it's like, and I guess I think he maybe will open up hours into it. But
I think it's rubbing against you, possibly for the same reason it's rubbing up against me in the wrong way. Is that it's quite online, if that makes sense. Like in terms of the humor, and I think it's quite online. I do
feel like it's a reaction. It's a react-to-me game. Is what I feel.
Not just
I think it gives that impression, but I don't think it is. I think it. I'm trying to think of the best way of putting it. It's what I love about the story is where it is quite dark at times. You know, when it starts digging into Nate's family life, you know, it can be quite dark. But what I think it does better than, and what surprised me really, is that it's such a accurate depiction of what it's like living with anxiety. To be honest, the way that some of the stuff that he does, it's almost like looking in a mirror at times, which is a bit horrible or embarrassing to announce on the podcast.
No, I'll do it too. I literally take tablets for that, and I did not identify that at all. That is not the way it works for me.
The trouble with things like that is they're very interpretive to the individual.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
and so and like we said before, like this isn't an individual list. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And it's like
But I do think that there are also other people who played the game like me, where I'm more on the side of Kieran, who does think, I think the story element, especially as it goes on, is very clever and not at all what I was expecting.
I wanted to see more of the story. I just didn't enjoy what I had to do to get
and
to
then
it.
that's my problem is that the gameplay got in the way of me even,
and that's
because a lot of games I can take the gameplay's not great, but I'll push through because the story's really good, or the story isn't that good, but I'll play the gameplay. Whereas this, because the story didn't grab me right away, the gameplay was just so frustrating, and not even in a way that there were times where. So this is one of those games that suddenly you get like a bit of a Zen thing where you're like, I'm walking. Do you know what I mean? And that was right. I quite appreciated that. But then there were other times where like I'd go up a difficult bit and I'd have worked out how to get up some steps and climb over a tree, and I was feeling very proud. And then it did little things where Nate would slip. And I would be like, okay, I've slipped. And then he would just keep slipping. And I was like, the physics engine is just fucking me here, because I should have stopped at some point and it's just decided that I'm slipping all the way down here now.
It's too much of the game.
And it's not the physics engine, though. That every mistake in that game that gets made is the fault of the player. Because every surface has... You know what that
but that's what I mean. But there were times when like I'd slip. Like, for example, there was a particular tree, and I climbed over the tree, and then I went up the hill, and I slipped on the hill. And the first time I slipped on the hill, I just sort of he slipped over, and then he sort of stopped. And then I stood up and I took one step, and then he slipped again. And this time I went over the tree and down the hill and down a fucking waterfall. And I was like, what the fuck, man? Like and then it was like...
a fucking slipped, should you?
I kind of want to see Nick play it. I'm not being funny. This sounds the entertainment.
That's true,
It sounds like a good time watching
I do think we have to pause baby steps.
I didn't get angry and frustrated about it. I just didn't enjoy it.
I think we need to pause baby steps because I think there is something to be said for like Kieran's... I don't want to put words in his mouth, but like the anxiety thing you mentioned, like, you know, there is something very powerful about seeing something like that in a game. And it is 100% fair to say you would not have expected that in this game, like especially as it is a follow-up to Getting Over It. So I'm not saying I'm switching sides, so to speak, and like I'm on the team babies, but I think there are other games we can cut and see where they. I mean, like,
yeah, I'm happy with that.
Time Flies, for example, we have talked about. Like,
I think it would be tough for me to be arguing for Ball Pit and 100 Line and, you know, say another game on this list where I'm like, for me on that list now, it is like in the sort of 5 or 6 slot.
Yeah, and I think if they're there, we have to just, as a group, consider that. And
yeah, it's bloody good, but
no,
yeah,
absolutely.
and I'm going to talk about it more in the proceedings. Don't worry.
Well, we haven't talked about Shinobi, we haven't talked about Clover Pit, and we haven't talked about Kirby Air Riders. Can we? I'm going to say, like, is it okay with the room if we will talk about it, but can we hold Kirby Air Riders, because I feel quite passionately about how much that game shocked me.
Yes,
and I know Steve. I think Steve thinks I'm just on a fucking great big wind up about that game. I genuinely cannot. I'm not even a Smash Bros fan. Not really. I play them and they're fine, and I play them and enjoy them, and then I'm like, why is this so beloved? I don't get it. I mean, I sort of get it because it's the kind of everybody's here thing. It's like, wow, this is cool, but the actual playing of it, I never quite understand. This is, I don't think it's going to make it because only Lyle and I have played it. But
I'll fight for a while, you know.
That is why.
What about Clover Pit then?
See, that's another one on my list of I wanted to, and I just have not sat.
Yeah,
I was a bit worried if I sat down and loved it. It's like I can't squeeze one more of those games in.
I mean, I would say it's a surprise given its genre, essentially, by taking a gambler and turning it into a roguelite. The fact that it can become quite addictive quite quickly. All right, gamblers and gambling are known for that, but as a video game version, like, that's never really held my attention in games. Like, even playing like poker in Red Dead, for example, it's fun for a little bit, it's fine, but it lacks the draw that has in real life. And I can't expect that to be the same with this.
You never have the tactile nature of having the cards in your hand and
it is.
They can't replicate that.
Like having a gambler, you know, you have buttons in front of you, for example, or in this case, the big arm pull.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
It's surprising it is so addictive for that reason. You know, it's got that one more go, that one more pull, because rounds can be quite quick. You know, if you get a full run of it, I think it'll take 25-30 minutes, to be fair.
If you do really well, then I reckon that's. But like, you know, a lot
most
of the time
are usually 10 to 15 minute runs, and it's got that quick pick up and play about it.
I guess my question would be to you specifically, Steve, on this one is: would it actually be in a 3 or on this 8 that are here? Would it actually be in a 3 for you?
No, I would have 3
That's
others.
And I'm not, because I mean,
and I don't think it'd be in a 3 for me either, to be fair. And I love the game. I think it is, again, what Steve said, I think that's it's really clever how it uses gambling, but not in the way of it just being luck based. Like, it feels like it's more almost like the Balatro. Like,
you're saying that.
You are manipulating your own luck, essentially.
No, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this.
It's so good. Really, really good game. I'll be talking about it in year-end things regardless, because I just think it's really
it's
fun.
nice that it's come up a couple of times, man, so far. So.
Oh, definitely.
But I'm cutting it?
But cut it, yeah.
Okay. So the only other one we haven't talked about in depth, I guess, is Shinobi now?
Yeah, which is... I think Shinobi's going to be another one that was basically really, really, really fucking good, but like... maybe not for a top 3 in Nicest surprise specifically. I get the surprise is that we got another Shinobi game for the first time since the 3DS. That's kind of weird.
That's mad. Yeah.
But it was, you know, I expected it to be really good. It surpassed my expectations and was really, really good. But
do we have an ally in Mick? Did you ever get to play this, Mick, or did you? I think you're muted, mate.
Yeah, no, I didn't get a chance, mate. I've been meaning to play it. I really want to, and it is still installed on desktop.
You will love this.
Yeah, and I'm sure I will.
Combat
I want to play it before we get to day 5, just because.
What I would say about it is as much as you look at it and you go like, wow, that looks amazing, I really hope it feels as good as it looks it does. Like the combat is sublime, but it's just this.
I might have been even arguing it for it on this list if I had played it, because it does look right up my street. I just haven't had a chance to.
I just don't think it can. I just don't think it can in this. Like, there's so much to fight for in a top 3 here. If we were going for a 5, I'd maybe be like thinking about trying to argue otherwise, but it's not in my top 3 in this list. Like, it's not. I can't pretend it is.
I want it to be, but I can't.
Yeah.
Yep. Gone.
I think I'm going to have to talk about Hell Is Us, because there's no way that's getting on a list with what you guys are fighting for. I'm just accepting the fact that it's.
I think it could be. It would be top 5 for me. It would be in my top 5.
Yeah, I mean it's my second most biggest surprise this year, because it was like for one. I thought it was a Souls-like. Like that was like even when I went into the demo, I got like a really early build of it before the demo, before the public demo. We played a really early build of it, and I remember doing a news post beforehand where I was like quite a smug, like, it's obviously a Souls-like. They're saying it's not, but look at it, it's obviously a Souls-like. Critic smart. And then I played it, and it was like. Okay, I'm eating my words now, because it's not at all a Souls-like, not even slightly a Souls-like. It has a kind of Souls-like feel to the way the character moves, but that's it. Like, it's really, really, it's a fucking Resi game. That's what it plays like. It plays like a Resident Evil game with Souls-like combat. That's what it plays like, because, like, it had the same. I mean, Adam knows. Particularly because he was with me during the review process when we were going through it was like another Remnant 2 for me. It was just secret after secret after, you know what I mean? Like, and it just throws.
Oh shit!
It doesn't even throw stuff at you. It's just there. Like, everything is kind of in plain sight, but you kind of still have to work for it, if that makes sense. It does this. It's just a game that I almost feel like it shouldn't exist in 2025, and that doesn't.
And that's not on this list, isn't there?
The trouble is by talking about it, you've reminded me of a game we haven't had on this list, and I know it's very late to add one.
It's too late now. We got it, haven't we?
I do think
we've already locked one, haven't we?
I have to say the name of this game. I might be alone. Blueprints.
I played like 10 minutes of it.
So nobody would be.
I think it probably is for some rooms, but I don't think it will be for this one.
I just want to check, because the way you were talking about it, all I was thinking about is it's. I was about to say there is no other game this year that would get you on graph paper and draw, and then I'm like, actually, shit, there is, and we have not mentioned it.
But this is the thing, like Hell Is Us did that. Like, made me get. I got a notebook out. I showed you, didn't I, when we had podcasts? I had like 4, 5, 6 pages of notes and puzzles, and I drew my own maps for areas and things like that. And it took me back to literally, genuinely. It didn't feel either like it was old-fashioned. It didn't feel like it was out of its time. It felt like a really, really modern homage to that style of game. It didn't seem like a game where they went, let's make a game that looks like Silent Hill or looks like Resident Evil, and we'll use like PS2 graphics because we're cool and shit. Like, it wasn't like that. It was like, this is a really modern game. It's got really glossy production values, excellent voice acting. Elias Tufexis is fucking legendary. Like, it's got all that stuff, but then it's got this open world, which again is rammed full of secrets. But then at the same time, it's got those really adorably, stupidly silly emblem puzzles where, you've got to get a medallion to open a door in a hillside that someone supposedly built 600 years ago. None of it makes any sense in that way, the same as like Resident Evil didn't, or Silent Hill didn't. But on the other side of that, you've also got some fantastic, like really, really interesting Souls-like combat, some really good like rock, paper, scissors stuff with powers and elements. And it's a real shame that I'm talking to you fuckers about it, because
I loved it.
If I had a different room of people, I might get it on this list, because genuinely it surprised me at almost every turn, even to the point where you can do the game, like you can go to these different areas and you can do them in any order, but like they sort of feed into each other, where if you go to one area and do like an hour there and then go to another area, you might find something in that area that feeds into that area, or you might find something in that area that comes back 10 hours later in a different, like it's really, and
what
I'm
I
not
would
saying
say
it's
about
intricately entwined.
No, but that is that doesn't exist anymore. Like that doesn't exist anymore. What you've described, that just does not happen in a game. This, like 100 Line, is a game that should not exist in the modern era of blockbusters and the way they're done. Like the thing you've described as being able to, it all feeds back in somehow. It just does not exist anymore, and that's it is.
And it's a shame, because I've, like, Lyle's got still like 12 games on this list of 3 to get through, and I'm not going to get it past you, and I wish I could, but it is really, really good, and genuinely it surprised me more than most games this year, just by the way it was structured and the way it kept giving you just things, and even like the little things to solve, like, because it was quite grim. It's quite a nasty game at times. Like, it's very like deliberately dark, but it doesn't even play that for shocks. Like, you don't walk into a room and are like, oh my god, I'm appalled. It's like this whole, we'll show you this brutal truth of war type thing going on at the same time as everything else, and it's like, I don't know, it was just really interesting, and like the main characters, and again, you know, maybe it'll come up in like day 4 and day 5, so we might discuss it again, but yeah, I mean, I want it on the list, but it's not my list.
I mean, it's your call, really. I mean, it would be in my 5. I would have, if I had a 5, it would be in my 5.
I mean, the amount of games we've said, don't get rid of that yet, let's park it. I'd park this as well, but we've only got 6 games left. One of them's a block, so we've got you know,
3.
We've got 5 games to squeeze into 2 spaces, and you know, I don't know if it's had the same effect on the overall as, say, I hate myself for saying it, as Baby Steps did on Kieran. You know, it's like it's true though, and so for me, I want it on the list, but I mean, we haven't even discussed Dispatch properly.
I've sort of avoided that because I feel like that is one that we're all.
That's probably going to be another lock, maybe, for all of us. And if that's the case, then it's like.
I was going to ask, is that definitely a lock, Dispatch, for Nicest Surprise? Because I know if you hadn't heard about it, obviously, until the review went in the chat, then that's one thing. But it's made by ex-Telltale people, isn't it?
Yeah. See, that's the thing, though. I don't like Telltale games.
This is
that's a very nice surprise. Yeah,
I don't like Telltale games. I haven't liked any of them since the first Walking Dead, and so like that was another reason when I spoke to Adam about this game after I'd seen you guys talking about the review, and Adam had said, "Oh, it's ex-Telltale devs, and you know, it's a bit like Invincible, which is something that I just haven't got into for whatever reason." And so I was just like, a bit meh. And then I watched the trailer, and I was like, okay. Like, I like the voice acting sounds good. Like, I like superhero shit. Let's give it a go. And then it's fucking just, it's phenomenal.
What I would also add to that is yes, it's ex-Telltale, and that gives you a degree of pedigree. But I think they've eclipsed anything Telltale did, and I would say my favourite would be.
It's better than anything.
Probably
Telltale.
Wolf Among Us. Or maybe even Tales from the Borderlands, the first one.
I think The Wolf Among Us is my favourite of anything.
But it's not just that. Like, just because I get what you're saying, Kieran, it's sort of devil's advocate, but like, just because that is true, it doesn't mean that they suddenly somehow have got like the best voice acting I've heard in a game in ages, the most amazing soundtrack, the seamless transitions that Telltale never managed. Like, that's an important thing for me. And also
the other thing as well,
that's Critical Role is involved, so it's like it's.
But Telltale games always did that thing where it looked like the choices you were making mattered, and then they fucking never did.
Dispatch kind of does do that too.
But yes, but there's a point in Dispatch where you don't know, like the ending, for example, you don't even know necessarily what you did to get that. So you've played, like, this is the thing as well. In a Telltale game, like any Choices game, like even something like Banishers a few years ago, I would play that game, and the Alters, I did it with the Alters. I'd play the game and I'd go, I wonder what would happen if I did something different, and then I might load a previous save and try something different, or if something goes wrong or whatever, I'd take a different course. I played, because of the nature of how we got Dispatch, and I played it on like the early edition, and then we didn't get it early, so I played on. So I replayed episodes 1 and 2 twice, and I played episodes 3 and 4 twice. I didn't change a single fucking choice, and not because I was like, oh, I don't want to know what happened, but because it was the most like it didn't feel like I'd made choices. It just felt like I was playing a story. And I think if I'd have made other choices, I'd have felt just the same. Like there was no point where I was like, fuck, I should have done that. That would have been different. I think it was. For me, it is the number one nicest surprise.
I think I have just had a sort of portent of the future, and I think I have solved and worked out this list via science. And I don't think it's a list that everyone is going to be happy with, but I genuinely have just, as Mick was talking there, I think so. We've had basically 4 or 5 of us have said Ball Pit is a lock. I kind of feel like Dispatch is in that sort of 3 or 4 of us. I think this list is Ball Pit, Dispatch, and Baby Steps.
I kind of agree,
because I think if we were to go through a round of voting, say we got to the point, and this is just guesswork. Say we got to the point where Ball Pit and Dispatch are locks. We then basically are voting what we cut out of 100 Line, Hell Is Us, Baby Steps, or Kirby. And my feeling is the vote would go towards Baby Steps, even if Mick and I both voted to keep Hell Is Us. I feel like. Am I wrong?
I'd go Baby Steps with it.
That's
I think you're putting a lot of value on me sticking with Baby Steps out of a lot of games I really fucking like on this list.
How do you like? Because
Kieran was Adam. You get rid of Hell Is Us because that's just me, and I'm not going to go down because Dispatch is my main, and then Ball X Pit, and then Hell Is Us was my third choice anyway, and so like I'm happy. That's 2 games that I really wanted on that list. List, and we talked about Hell Is Us, and I'll talk about it again probably tomorrow. But
okay, so Lyle, how do you feel about Dispatch? Like, I'm not 100% sure I know how you feel about Dispatch.
I think Dispatch is really, really very good. I agree in terms of all that sort of thing. I think. I really liked Telltale games, a lot of Telltale games, and I think Dispatch for me hasn't necessarily felt better than other Telltale games. Like, I have Telltale games I have above Dispatch in my own personal library of hundreds of video games that I'm pretending I have ordered in my mind, like some sort of maniac. But, like, I mean, I think Dispatch is really good. It wouldn't be on, like, it for me. If I was going to be cutting games now, the next, like, and I'm obviously, if it's just me making this list on my own for some reason right now, all 4 of you just suddenly have like terrible accidents and I'm just carry on recording. The thing I would do, it's not going to happen, I don't think, probably not. The thing I would do is I'd cut Dispatch first and then I'd cut Baby Steps and I'd be really happy. But like, and I'm not saying that either of those games actually get cut. But
you did have like 19 games on this list to start with. You were
always
going to just be throwing darts at the board somewhere. And
yeah, I am. But like,
you've not really talked through Kirby Air Ride as much either in terms of the surprising nature.
Everything about it, like everything about that game, is surprising to me.
So do we just need to vote? Because we're kind of at a point where everything left on the list is super surprising. And I mean, I sacrificed Hell Is Us because I thought Ball X Pit was a lock, and that's been unbolded now.
No, I only unbolded it because I'm going to put them into it's the Ball Pit we locked. That's locked. But, I don't think Kirby Air Riders is making it based. Be honest with you, no matter how shocked and surprised Lyle and I are about how good that game is, and it is, Steve, it is really fucking good, man. Like it is.
I'm gonna have to try it at some point, aren't I? Against my better judgment.
Yes. Is the simple answer, but
I think for Kirby Air Riders, it's not just that the game itself is a nice surprise. It's like that throughout the year we had all these different moments that led up to it being like it was announced so early on as a like Switch 2 launch year game when there was already a kart racer launching with the console itself and one that everyone was like 20 times more excited for. The fact that Kirby Air Ride was ever going to get a sequel is a surprise because it's a GameCube game that basically no one liked.
Yep.
And then when you suddenly get to play this game, the fact that it's somehow Super Smash Brothers if it was a kart racer, it's also sort of not necessarily even a kart racer in some ways.
Yeah, it's
and
sort of not.
There's a way to play it where you play from above and it's like a RC karting game and it's there's a lot that's surprising about that
also,
game.
it's it's kind of a battle royale as well, sort of, in a weird way. It's got a mode that's a battle royale. Well, no, it is. I mean, people have
it's got like a roguelike-ish almost mode that's also a story mode that actually has a narrative.
Yeah, the story mode's amazing.
Yeah, it's fucking bizarre. Like, I think it's the most words I wrote for a review this year because like I was like, I'm just like I'd get to like this like 13th paragraph and be like, oh, I hadn't talked about this yet. Oops. Like, it just like, oh shit, there's so much. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't know.
And it kind of shouldn't work. Like, when I'm playing it, I'm like, I don't know how this is just 2 buttons or how that works. And like, when you come away from a game that you actively were like, I have no interest in that, not only loving it, but arguing for it on Game of the Year shit. And the only thing I can really complain about is I really wish that there was another way of attacking that wasn't wiggling the left stick. I wish that, but if you can remap the other 2 buttons, you can remap to like other buttons.
Whatever you want.
One thing I want to remap, they don't let you. And that's the only thing I have. That's the
you
issue.
Do it with the Pro Controller?
No. Oh, I wonder if no, you can't because it's an action. It's like waggle left and right. You know, as if you get trapped by something, can you waggle it to escape? In fact, you know, like in Tears of the Kingdom, when you want to remove 2 sticky objects, you wiggle it's that, but on the left stick, and it's like an attack as you go, and you have to do it really quickly because this game's fucking rapid. So it's not like remapping, say, B to one of the grip. It's an action. You'd have to.
And it is such a tiny thing, but it is the thing I would change for sure.
Literally the thing I would change about that game. I don't even know why. Like, I don't know if it's like, oh well, it wouldn't be as competitive. I don't think that's true. Like, I think everyone who's played that game would change that, and that's it. I wouldn't change anything else. But
yeah,
you put forward a compelling argument.
So if we're locking that and we're locking 100 line,
the thing is, I don't think we can lock Kirby when only 2 of us have played it. That's the trouble. We are making a collaborative list, and literally it's just me and Lyle that played it.
It's just difficult because if we do that for everything, then Baby Steps wins for the only being the only one that's got 3 people who's that everyone's played it, but some people hate it.
I'm okay with that.
Bullpit's love. No.
I mean, I haven't played 100 Line Defense or Kirby Air Riders, so I can't say a lot. You had compelling arguments about both. Baby Steps, I just disagree with because I do. That's just a preference thing. But but it is a preference thing. Like I'm not saying that I'm right or I'm wrong or whatever. That's just my preference. Is I didn't like it as a nicest surprise. It wouldn't have been anywhere near my top 10.
Hang on.
But
So if Bullpit's locked, Steve, would Dispatch be a lock for you as well?
Oh, 100%.
Okay. And Kieran, where are you actually sitting on Dispatch? Is it a lock for you?
I don't think it's like a nicest surprise because I think
you followed it.
Yeah, not a huge amount, not until like a couple of months before it was.
Dane in the Discord said it was going to be great all the fucking time. Yeah, so I was like, okay, it's going to be great, and it was. Not that he's always right. Let's not.
But are you not surprised at quite how good it was? Is what I'm getting at. Like in terms of like the voice acting.
It's the quality. I think that was surprising. It genuinely was the transitions that really surprised me because that was, like you said, that's the one thing they've never been able to do. And while I would put season 1 of The Walking Dead above Dispatch as a whole,
a lot of people would, I think, to be fair.
Yeah, I think.
If not for Clementine's voice actress,
yeah, the quality of Dispatch was I suppose probably the nicest surprise. It was just how good it was, how good the quality of it was.
And the surprise of how YouTube celebrities can do quite so well as well in a video game. They're blending in perfectly.
So Steve, you mentioned so Dispatch and Bullpit would be a lock. What would be your? I'm guessing Baby Steps.
I'll be taking Baby Steps as a third lock.
By dint of it being the only other game I've played, I literally couldn't not vote for Baby Steps.
I love the idea that it's mixed. I'm fine with Baby Steps being third
by default.
If we say it's because Mick said so, I'm fine with that.
I mean, if he really wants it, then let him have it.
I would have to vote Baby Steps because, as I said as well, it was unique. It is a unique game, like you know. And I just didn't resonate with me the same.
Does that mean we've done it then?
I think we should. I think it's funny.
It hurts my soul that Baby Steps is going to be third ahead of 100 Line and Kirby More 100 line, if I'm honest. It hurts my
Wouldn't
soul.
be my preference personally, but it is entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Lyle, to be honest. I would put 100 line over Dispatch, and I only played about an hour of the 100 line. But the nicest surprise for me is that it, obviously only from that 1 hour, is that it seemed really good. Whereas from the first hour of Rain Code, it was fairly obvious it wasn't going to be particularly great.
What I'm hearing is that we can cut Kirby Outriders.
Yeah, if I think Kirby is the one that is the least likely.
And then we really maybe have to, because it's just you and me, whereas there's people talking about 100 line. I think I would go 100 line over Kirby. They're both ridiculously compelling and surprising in different ways, but 100 line shouldn't exist. Like I feel
the real villain of this is that Adam said that this was going to be a top 3 and not a top 5. Like a real piece of shit,
wouldn't we?
Honestly, there was a moment just there where I was like, we can do what we want. We could just make it a top 5, but like it doesn't feel right to do that. So right now, no. No, but there was a moment where I was like, we can just do what we want. It's our rules. Like, but
fuck it.
Bullpit wins, right? Bullpit wins.
Oh yeah,
I think we all have kind of agreed.
But that takes one out of the equation a little bit. We can worry about
a little bit.
We know what the winner is, so there you go, everyone. Surprise.
So do we? Is it? I don't know. Do we vote? Do we go around who puts a tick against what here?
We voting for what's cut, or
I guess
that could be quite interesting because I know what you and I are going to cut, Mick.
Yeah.
And we might, but thing is we can do this, but you might end up losing Bullpit by default if it is the one that more people choose to cut. Like, because Mick and I are aligned on what we'd cut, whereas Kieran would choose Dispatch by the sound of it. Steve,
well, I think Bullpit's staying, so it's down to 2. We're voting really.
Bullpit's staying where it is.
Bullpit's where it's out of the equation.
So let's just put ticks next to it, and it's. I tell you what, if nothing else, it's the fairest way. Because we could be here all night.
I always wonder if that actually is true or not, but it's too late.
People can be tactical if they want, but it's obvious what I'm going to pick to remove from this list.
Well, I'll put a number next to it because I would do the same. Of those 3, I would definitely cut Baby Steps. I know you're the same.
Steve, wait, what about not playing 100 line? Does that not? Can you not vote for that?
He's forgotten about that.
Please,
you did say that earlier, didn't you?
I did.
I did. Please.
But also, you guys have been very compelling about 100 line. Like even you,
we haven't even really told you why.
Like, so, and if I had to play any game right now, I'd rather play 100 line than all Baby Steps.
That's very true. Yeah,
I'd probably rather play Rain Code.
No, you would hate that more because at least in Baby Steps you are actively doing stuff, not just.
Yeah, I remember the backlash on Rain Code. Yeah.
It's just a gnawing feeling in the back of my mind that Baby Steps should be in at 3 in the list.
It's played such a big part in our lives this year.
Yeah, it's caused so much pain to so many people.
I mean, that's like saying an illness is important to me because it's paid. I can't
imagine having Baby Steps on a list if Dispatch isn't. I cannot.
But that's why I'd feel like 100 line is the.
I'd say I'd be chopping 100 lines straight out of there personally.
That's look, I'm fine with that, but I will warn you now, I will be coming hard for 100 line with certain other categories. You heard me, Mr. Chambers. Nearly forgot your surname then. I will be explosively ejaculating verbally about 100 line later.
That's how I feel about the alters in certain categories that are yet to come. So,
what do you think, Lyle? Would you let him? I mean, I know you like Baby Steps more than I do. Do you let him have Baby Steps?
Oh, it's tough, isn't it? Because obviously, yeah, like I said, it would be Dispatch I was trying to get rid of, and I think that's going to be a tough fight. Clearly, me and Kieran think it maybe doesn't fit Nicest Surprise in the same way, but I'm not sure. This is the
awkward thing, because whereas Mick actively hates, and I use the word hate, Baby Steps, I don't like it.
I'm afraid
I want to like
it.
Yeah. I know. I'm joking, but like that's fine. If you don't like something, you don't like it.
So, I mean, because I could tactically just say get rid of Baby Steps and then 100 line gets on there as well, and that's quite nice. But like, if I was going to be removing something,
I'm here for that. But I do like Kieran quite a bit, and it feels really mean. So I'm like a bit soft when it comes to that.
Yeah. What about if we keep Baby Steps in 3rd in this one, and I'll pick. No, I was going to say I'll pick another category further down the list, and I won't argue for it quite as heavily as I'm planning to.
Do you know what? It would be. I will say it would
Yes.
be weird if it didn't appear on at least one list.
No, Mick, no,
Given
Mick,
how
Mick, no,
passionate
Mick,
Kieran is
Mick,
about
no,
it.
no, Mick, he was about no.
And I
don't
think
say
if it
such
goes
things.
on this list, and he's not going to have to, I'm not. If I don't want to have to fight the Alters and Claire Obscure against,
But that's what
Baby
he's saying.
Step
That's
on
what he's
day
saying.
Well, you
If-
will
if-
for best story and best character.
But that's-
and
he's
best game of-
saying-
best game of the year. And most anticipated. I'll get it in that list somehow.
He was
Yeah,
saying if we let it on this list, he won't fight for it in one of the other lists. But I need to know which list that is before
All
I
right,
can
right,
agree
let
to
me-
this
let me-
Don't,
tactical.
don't cut that deal yet, Kieran. Just
No,
agree.
Kieran,
That's
cut
what
that
it
deal.
is.
Cut that deal, Kieran. What list are we
Don't do
offering
it.
up
I
that
mean,
you
if you
won't
want it
fight
in
for?
Don't get in the upper hand.
If it turns up in best new character,
moment.
best moment,
Oh,
fair
no,
enough.
I'm not
I
interested.
haven't got much in either of those categories.
No,
Oh,
I'm
hang on.
not-
What were those two categories, Mick, that you just said?
No, Nick, would you stop? You are
best-
helping him.
Best new moment and best new character. Baby Steps can turn up where it wants in those, as far as I'm concerned, personally.
Oh, right. So I thought Kieran was suggesting he would offer that he wouldn't fight for it in best moment.
No, he's saying that he wouldn't fight for it in.
Yeah, what
I don't
category
know.
are you offering that you won't fight for it, Kieran?
Tell you what, I won't fight for it in best moment because there's a category.
No,
There's something from another game there that I think should be in the top 3 there. That more
I'm
than
too old
anything
to be
from
being
Baby Steps.
sharked in that manner, mate. You're not catching me out that way. That ain't the list I want it out of.
What list do you want it out with, and we can have a
I
discussion.
want it out of story. Jesus,
No,
in this
fuck-
year with this year's stories. Fuck
I don't
me.
want it in the top 10. And if
No, I don't want it. in the top
Right,
10.
this is
I'm going to be arguing for top 10. I can tell you that for nothing.
see. This is the thing. That's the only list that I would be like, that's the one I would, because I can't talk about the story because I haven't finished it. Best moment I can't comment on. So if you guys convince me and everyone
I
else,
won't
of
talk
that,
about it in story. I won't talk about it in best story. If
That's
Done.
not,
if
that
we
means
get it in
like, that means nothing to Mick. That means
No, done. I don't want it in best. I don't even want it anywhere near best story.
yeah, but he's
But I
saying
haven't
he
played-
will argue for it in the top 10.
yeah, that you can
He's
take that one out of
gotta
the
go
discussion. That
against-
is going to happen.
That's the
Lyle's
important
got
one.
47 games in the top 10 currently. He's got to get it past all those first.
I am very reliant on Lyle being like, look, I like the game, but come on.
And who knows where that'll end up.
Lyle, I'm going to play Kirby Air Riders tomorrow.
You don't have a Switch too.
I'll
yes,
He's
go
going
buy
for a
one.
very expensive trip out
I'm
tomorrow.
going to
Now,
buy
if
one,
we-
and I'm going to play 100 Line as well.
What if we take Baby Steps out and we just lock it for another list now?
No, that's
Ooh,
also
great idea. And
Nice
it's the game of the
try,
year.
Lyle.
I'm
list.
just spitballing.
Lock it for
Yeah,
best
no,
moment.
we know. Yeah, I would have said you were more sort of throwing shit at the wall than spitballing. I mean, same terminology, just different terminology. We
don't know what's
we need to
happening anymore
vote.
with this
we
list.
need to vote. This the only way around it. Is what's anyone? Does anyone think that this isn't a case where Ball Pit and Dispatch make up the top 2, and then we're voting for third? First of all, is that a fair assessment?
I mean, both me and Kieran were sort of in the Dispatch is the one to go camp. It's just that kind of feels like a difficult fight to have when there
Well,
are
that
three
is also
people who
2v3,
really,
isn't it?
really
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't feel like the right category for it in my mind, but then I take
Yeah,
Mick's
that was
point
all
as well around
because I
it.
think it's going to do really well in a lot of categories because it's a fucking great game. It just doesn't
already
feel
made
like it
one or
fits
two,
in
hasn't
this one.
I think it won one
Last two.
yesterday. Go and listen to that.
Yeah, but
But
I mean,
that's not
if-
the point, though, is it? Like, I don't like. That's
No.
not-
Yeah, it's not
I
the
think
point,
it's
yeah.
just saying. Just saying.
Yeah,
Look,
you can win as much as
maybe
you want.
it was. I mean, best surprise is kind of like best moment and kind of like best character in that it's very, very subjective to the individual. Like,
Yeah,
so
the funny
I
thing is as
was
well-
surprised by Dispatch.
But if we
But
just do agree on Ball Pit, Dispatch, Baby Steps as the top 3, I think I suggested that about 25 minutes ago.
Yeah,
So that would
Hang
be
on,
quite
hang on.
funny as well.
Well,
I
we
am
can
getting
do that.
very tired of this.
Yeah. all right,
To
all
the
right.
point where, no disrespect, but do what you fucking like now.
Yeah.
Because
I've
I
got-
just
I've
want to
got a
get to the
solution.
next category.
I've got
it's a
a
war of
solution.
attrition.
Yeah. Solutions, Kieran says.
All right, cut Baby Steps, keep 100 Line. And there's a reason for that will feed into the next category.
Oh, that's exciting. No, yeah, I'm down for that. It's adding tension and it means people won't turn off.
I am okay with that.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Okay.
Is- But
I'd rather be getting rid of 100 Line Man. I'd like Baby Steps in for surprise.
Oh.
I love
keep
100
going.
Line, but I sort of also want
I'm
Baby
looking
Steps to be
forward.
third. It just feels like... I think... Yes, we're talking about these as games and the quality of the game. You know, we were all shocked by how much we loved Ball Pit. We were all shocked by how much we loved Dispatch. I didn't think Baby Steps would become the office meme as well, which kind of...
You're welcome.
Yeah. But it kind of just... as much as a video game, let me be fucking abundantly clear. As a video game, I far prefer the 100-line Last Events Academy. But as a nicest surprise of the year, it's been quite fun and funny to talk about that game. And 3 people on the team really liked it. So I'm like, if you think of it as that way, as a
100 line, do it. Come on.
Do you know what I mean? If you think of it as a broader kind of, we're not talking about just the playing of the game, the broader.
It's funny, really, because you talked about Dispatch being 3v2. I think Baby Steps is also 3v2, whereas I think 100 Line is probably so. Like,
yeah, but also if you think about Ball Pit, Dispatch, and Baby Steps, they're probably the 3 games we've talked the most about as a team as well. So it's kind of like, if it's that nicest surprise, the feeling of we just got us all chatting about. I mean, we chat enough about games, you know what I mean? But we like. When
it's
we didn't
nicely
have to.
representative, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of that. If you look at it that way, I feel a bit happier and a bit more comfortable.
And we're going to be fighting for a lot of these games and a lot of other categories, and it's going to be fun when we do that again. Yeah. And I can't wait till all 4 of these are being fought over for more categories.
I also think if Baby Steps is on this list, it's a stronger argument I've got against getting it on any other fucking list.
Right.
It's had applauded.
I'm going to call this list. I'm going to read it.
It's got a bronze.
Before someone says otherwise, best nicest surprise. Nicest surprise. In 3rd place is Baby Steps. In 2nd place, Dispatch. The nicest surprise of 2025 is Ball X Pit. Done? Done.
Sounds good.
We did it.
Breathe. This next category will be easy now, right?
Forgot Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, but whatever.
He was never going to make it.
Forgot Blueprint. Shall I just read this next list because it's not that long?
Yes, it's a short one for a change.
Best new character. Top 3.
I don't know who most of them are.
That's fine. That's what we're here to talk about. Best new character top 3 has to be whittled down from Mecha Man / Robbie Robertson from Dispatch, Chase from Dispatch, Melanoe from Hades 2, Esqui from Claire Obscure, Monaco from Claire Obscure, Atsu, Ghost of Yotai, Pipistrello from Pipistrello and the Cursed Yo-Yo, Remy from Hell Is Us, Tomorrow from Death Stranding 2, Dollman from Death Stranding 2, Nate from Baby Steps, Pinky from Promised Mascot Agency, and from 100 Line there's 3 entries, Takumi, Aito, and Darumi.
You guys have got a lot of talking to do because I don't know who any more than
I know
4 of these characters
There's a lot I don't know as well. So
I've got an easy cut.
Okay.
One of mine as well. Dollman from Death Stranding.
Oh,
I put him on
thank
there.
God for that.
Really?
I hate that prick.
Oh, I love him. I think he's
it's more. It's not so much his character. It's the fact it does the slow frame rate bullshit.
I love
really annoys me. I
Is
hate
he a
that
doll?
anything.
I haven't
really
played
stands
Death
out.
Stranding.
I know
literally
Kojima, so I presume he's a doll.
He's
Yeah,
a
he's
doll,
literally
and
a
you can use him as a grenade where you can throw him up and you can see through his eyes and like map out areas, and it like.
How is that
But he
not
constantly
unlocked?
moves at like fucking
don't know.
15 FPS, and it looks like shit.
He's just a bit.
Stephen's
there's
got
not
a
as much
serious
to him.
problem with stop motion. I think
Oh,
Dollman's
man,
great, man, and he's got a quite a deeper character. Remember as well. That's his
No,
story.
I don't think
It is
as much as
because
the
it
others.
stands out so much against the rest of the game that bugs me.
Also, he's a fucking idiot. If you remember his backstory, he's a fucking idiot. 'Cause
Oh, he's an idiot, but
he
like,
takes
so
his daughter into the middle of a factory infested with BTs to try and communicate with his dead wife, who's also a BT.
Well, that's
And then
true.
they all die. So
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot that. That is true.
spoilers,
He's an
by the
idiot.
way,
Yeah.
for Death Stranding.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Well, we did warn people that we might have to spoil. I would have actually backed you if you'd have been like, no, I want to keep Dollman, because I just think Dollman's kind of
For how long though? I mean, he's
Probably
suggesting
maybe
a cut.
quite far. Like it's kind of the quintessential Kojima character in that game, I think. But I'm
Better
not
than
gonna.
El Fannin and Tomorrow, and
I
El
think
Fannin's
so, yeah.
ass as Tomorrow's ass.
Yeah, I don't think they're separate characters though, Mick. That's the only thing. But no, I would
Kind of
far
are.
prefer Dollman to Tomorrow. But I mean, if them's
Steve
the
actively
votes,
dislikes them.
yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
just don't think he's as good as some of the other characters.
I'll delete
It's just
them.
fun. It's
Them's
fun.
the votes. Them's the votes. I just was
Okay, I got a lot of questions. Can
Can
I
I
ask
fucking
one?
do.
before you suggest one. Can I just?
I'm not going to
Suggest a
suggest. I was
cut.
going to ask.
Well, can I
Okay,
suggest a
yeah.
cut before? Because I think Pipistrello is kind of an asshole. Like he's not.
Yeah, I think Pipistrello is an interesting protagonist for a Zelda top-down
Yes.
type game. It's a really interesting choice to make like Nepo Baby be
Yes.
your main character.
Yes.
And I think that's really cool. He's not the best new character, but it's a
No.
cool one.
It's a fantastic game. I just.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, there's not really anyone in that game that's particularly a likable character now I think about it.
No, everyone's just sort of being an asshole for different reasons. And,
like you sort of think Pipistrello is going to have almost like a redemption arc of, oh, actually he's not the asshole, it's his nan. Is it his nan or his aunt? I can't remember now.
And I think
and she's kind of the asshole. It's like, I know they sort of both are in their own way.
They're all sort of assholes in their own way.
But they're just less, the degrees less of an asshole than the bad people. So like, but we can cut Pipistrello, can't we?
I think so. Easy.
Okay, right. 10 to go. Fuck.
So
can we have a rundown on the 100 line characters?
Yeah, I was going to ask because we're not going. Obviously, all three, I'm sure, are not going to make the top.
One
3
is an
characters.
easy cut, and I will very quickly, easily cut one of them right now if we just want to do that. Takumi is the main character of 100 line, and because of that, is sort of the like average everyday high school person who goes on to have an important role in all these fun timelines and all the nonsense that carries on in that game later on, which we'll have to talk about. But he's a very good main character. He's very he's likable, charismatic, and has a nice sort of narrative arc in lots of different ways. But he's nowhere near as interesting as the other two on that list at all. So I think get rid of him. We can park the others for a little bit, and I'll go on a real fucking spoiler-filled rant later on.
Right, so I think Melanoe has to go because that went into early access last year. So on a technicality, she is not a new character this year, is she?
That's a very easy way to cut a character that we like.
Makes it easier for us, doesn't it?
Happy with that, yeah.
Steve, am I right? It was definitely early access last year, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I actually would also argue she has less agency in the story than Zagreus.
And I don't want to spoil, but there are elements of it where they kind of. Are you two okay if I just minor spoil stuff? Just.
I don't mind.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Steve, okay. Lyle. So Zagreus is in this game, right? And there's a part of this game. And obviously you're playing as Melanoe in this game, where they sort of frame, because this is her story, this is her game. Zagreus had his game, that was the last one. They sort of reframe it late on a little bit, where you could easily make the argument that they actually make her less important than him in her own game. And I know that's been a source of a lot of discussion, and I think they're updating some of the stuff towards that. But regardless of that, the technicality makes it an easy cut. She's not a new character unless you want to call this best new character exclusively in a 1.0 release of a video game.
We got to cut a lot of characters off.
Isn't that category tomorrow?
It might be, best new character in a 1.0 release, I think, and the satisfactory study is.
With that reasoning, get it on then.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that, Steve? Because I know you're a big Hades fan, and Lyle.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. It wouldn't be in my top 3 of the characters, actually, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
No, that is actually another fairly good point, to be fair. Yeah.
There's another easy one if we want.
Go on.
Okay, let's have an easy one.
Pinky from Promise Mascot Agency. It's a very fun, ridiculous character, but not a best character of the year.
But in best most ridiculous character in a 1.0 release of a video game on Thursday,
which is tomorrow as well.
Yeah, that's a shout. So we'll get to that.
Yeah,
I am right in thinking that Pinky is a literal pinky finger, aren't I?
Yes.
Well, a mascot that is a disembodied pinky finger. And
I'm assuming that's like a Yakuza reference for the losing a little finger vibe.
Probably, right?
Fuck, it might actually be. Yeah.
Well, no one else realised that, but so good job, Steve.
Holy shit, yeah.
That's a lot now. Clever.
So many layers.
I mean,
So
yes,
many
this it is Stephen, yes.
Adam.
No confusion.
I wrote
Adam,
that in my
cut
review.
this bit. Lyle put that into Lyle's review. Remember to update. Yeah, okay, just note to self.
Great.
Sorry,
Perfect.
carry on. Pinky.
Yeah, but just a very fun, totally psychotic character that adds a lot of joy to that ridiculous game, but I don't think stands up in a top 3, unfortunately.
I can suggest 2.
Okay, hang on. So Pinky cut.
Let's do it.
Cut your pinky. Or cut my pinky. Right. Sorry, Mick, you can suggest 2.
Yeah, both are Claire Obscure characters.
What?
That is a compelling argument.
I'm only suggesting, by all means, argue.
I fucking will argue, mate. You want to cut Esky? You remember who
Yeah,
Esky
it wasn't
is?
my favourite character in Claire Obscure. I don't. You know me. I don't like
Joy.
I don't know. I don't like the silly cutie mascot characters. I couldn't care less. I like my favourite character was Gustav and Meow, but they weren't characters that well, it was true. It's true that those characters had a lot more going in terms of what the story actually was. I mean, it turns out, without spoiling it, you find out that Esquier and Monaco are actually just fucking like imaginary friends of one of the main characters.
But that's kind of part of what makes it so wonderful. That like,
fine. I'm not saying get rid of them. I'm saying
I think if you take characters like Esquier and Monaco out of that game,
they did bring
so much color to the world. Like they are so important to adding shades of color to the game instead of just being like this relentlessly. Would be a depressing thing.
They're also the characters with the annoying voices that bugged me.
If anything bugged me at all,
it was Esquier's voice, and again, like the way they fed into
how
the
he keeps wanting to fight you and shit. Like,
yeah, I did like I said, I don't. I'm not saying they're bad characters. I'm just saying that if you're going to get 3 out of this, Lyle's going to fight for 200 line characters. I don't think Esquier and Monaco were among the best characters of the year.
I really would have one of them very
I
close to 3.
The thing I like most about Esquier was that there's like the things he brought to the story, or not to the story, the things he brought to the gameplay, the mechanics he adds, I thought were really clever because I wasn't expecting any of those. I wasn't expecting him to be the reason that you can navigate the overworld map and things like that. I thought that was really clever. And there's a couple of really good moments in like cutscenes where he there's one where he like pretty much saves the day, and I like the introduction to him where he like makes you go and fight that.
His mate with the rock, like,
it's
such an integral part of the sort of.
Like that, but I don't. I'm just like
I really strongly feel. I really feel strongly about it. Like, if you think of almost the game as quite a serious, and it is. It's like it's quite a depressing story when you think about what's going on. Not so much Monaco, but although he does make me laugh quite a bit. But Escape is It adds so much color to that world in terms of like cutting through the darkness and making me smile, like in a game where otherwise you would not have moments that make you laugh. Like when he just, like when you said about him saving the day, when he's sort of flying around in the background just making funny noises, or the whole rock person thing. Like I think that he is.
I do think his
wonderful character. He's like a Disney character in
there.
Are
really nice.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, think about the wine. What about the wine?
Yeah,
where the wine comes from. Like, he's magic. He's literally magic. I love
think
that dude.
Right, I was fair, and because I wasn't saying I don't like these characters, I want them off the list. I was just suggesting them because I thought I probably would have put them on if you hadn't. But like,
no, I loved it.
Out of the two, then I would be quite happy to keep Esquier. I don't like Monaco. I didn't even use him as a character because I didn't like his style.
I get you.
Do you know what I mean? So he was always kind of a background character for me. He was a character I didn't really bother.
Where you have to basically monster hunt to get like.
Yeah, and he's the character skills. Where like and so it was a really clever mechanic, but he felt like his mechanic came from a different game. It felt like
I get that.
Because I was like, I kind of want to get his. I kind of want to fill his like card of special skills, but I don't really want to use him because the other characters were just too good to use.
You have methods with the others,
and and then there's a bit in the game where you sort of have to use him with, and it was like, I didn't like it. I'm not saying his character wasn't well written and he wasn't funny, and he did have some really cool moments and that. But
I will say, by the way, we've been calling him Monaco and his name's Monoko. Yes, I don't know why we've been doing that.
But... Well, I've been reading Monaco.
Yes, so have I. But I've just realised when I've said it once too many times. Like, I don't think we're getting two of them in.
There's some cool side bits with him as well, like when you go to like the gambling den in the clouds and shit like that. Like there's some bits in there that are really quite cool. But
at the point in Claire Obscure I am currently, I would say that cutting Monoko is the one I would. I've not finished the game yet, so I can't pretend that I know everything about every one of the characters.
I'm happy to keep Esquier if you feel that strong. I didn't realise you would. I just thought we've got a lot to cut, and
I'll be fighting for Esquier. I'll be fighting for him like quite deep into this category personally.
Fair enough. But I do think Monoko has to go then, maybe.
One of the what has to go, sorry?
I said I think maybe Monoko has to go then.
Yeah.
We're not going to get them both in the top 3. And
yeah, okay. No, you're right. But
I think both could plausibly have made, again, a top 5, but we do top 3s and upset ourselves now.
Sorry.
Top 5 would make this process much easier.
Yeah.
I haven't got any other cuts to suggest.
I've got a really spicy one, like a properly roastingly spicy one.
Don't do it, Adam.
But it's maybe devil's advocate-y more than my actual feelings, but I do think it's worth a discussion. Is Robbie Robertson a best new character? Let me finish before you jump on me, because we all played a different version of him.
That is what I was going to say.
Whereas
because
Chase
my
is
Robbie
just
Robertson,
Chase.
Yeah, my Robbie Robertson was fucking awesome. But I know a mate of mine at work who I was talking about it to made different choices, and his Robbie was kind of a cunt. And like, it's true though. He made different choices, and like the story I put my Robbie through, like I promised Chase that heroes don't kill villains, and then you know what I mean. I made him do things that made it a really cool story for him. I mean, the story overall is amazing, but his character can slot in and out of that story in lots of different ways. And I haven't played it multiple ways, so I don't know how much he changes. But
is it not a case where no matter what choice you've made, I mean, I played it in very much. He was a man of strong moral fiber.
Same.
He was very much a superhero at heart, even though he wasn't still in a superhero position for a lot of that game. I can't see a way that you couldn't play it like that, thinking about it.
Well, I played him very honest, but I also played him as very, like, a little bit, like, what's the word? Malicious. Like, I threw the flammable over flambe. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't throw water. I set him on fire. Yeah, but I know people who wouldn't. But if you look at the percentages at the end of it, it tells you, and it's like 68.
When I played it, it was very high. So I guess
mine was like 68. Yeah, mine was like 68% through alcohol. So like,
I mean, that's
some people didn't. I know, but I mean, it's not unanimous or anything.
I still think even doing things like that, he had his moments of flare-ups and having a bit.
He's
of a
also a bit of a badass in his own way.
He always came back to that level character, so he still had like this grounded pace throughout. I don't think you could ever play it.
I did glass the barman as well. I don't know how many people chose to glass the barman, but I did that.
I can't remember. You can't play Renegade and Paragon like a massive.
No, you can't take it.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not
always
that
middle line.
I was genuinely playing devil's advocate. Maybe you're right. Maybe that I'm jumping.
He's certainly not an easy cut this early. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was devil's advocate.
And neither is Chase.
Chase would be a stronger pick for me. I think Chase is utterly awesome in every way.
I'd be locking him in a hobby.
But Chase's ultimate ending, that kind of soured it for me.
I fucking love that. Like Chase would be, I would be able to lock Chase now.
I'm going to spoil a little bit because we're spoiling. Like I would have preferred if his sacrifice had been that sacrifice. Because
then he would never have got that payoff with the Blazer stuff, and that was so awesome seeing him.
It was really awesome, but I didn't need that because I would have been happy if Blazer had done that. If she had,
but I think by that point, this game has set its stall out as like it's no one's actually going to die.
No,
I think it's set its stall out by that point. No one's going to die. There's so many. No, I know, but what I'm saying is
his death. The reason is though that moment where the episode ended and we thought he was dead. That gave me a lump in my throat.
Yeah, the start of the next one did as well.
Yeah, but exactly. But then I got
the resolution of
the manner in which he did it, like he can't do that again now. Do you know what I mean? Like that was his moment to be like, keep up, and he put everything on the line.
Yeah, but then Blazer did the same by giving away her powers to him, and he got to get his moment.
I don't know. I just think I think it belittled his moment.
That's not about his character, is it? That's story. That's not about the actual
but
character.
I think it was almost cowardly. Like his character, because his character is the one that went, I'm going to sacrifice myself to save that girl I don't really like, because that's what heroes do. That's when he and had he died, it would have been perfect. But he didn't.
Agree.
So
it would have been a sad loss for any sequel.
I think it was. I think it was the only bit in that game that I felt was cowardly writing was having.
I think by the point he comes back, they've already committed for me to the fact that no one's dying. It's not that kind of universe.
And that's not good for me because there's no stakes now.
Chosen to do.
It removes the stakes from everybody. Because once he was still alive, I thought, well, no one's going to die. And And like when you do that, you take the stakes away because it and that was this is a story conversation, but
that's what I mean.
think
This is
Chase,
best character, so I don't.
I think Chase belongs on the list, but I just think that I think they fluffed that in my opinion.
Just Chase's general like
his attitude and his character,
wickedness and not giving a fuck at times carried
the sacrifice. Because I never really understood. Because I never really found out exactly why he didn't like Visigal. Like he really didn't like her among all of them.
I mean, he doesn't doesn't like any of them though. I mean, that is
no, but with her, he's really like in that bit in the party scene.
Isn't that because he knows what's going on? He knows what's going on with her.
No, he doesn't know. He doesn't know she works for Shroud, because if he knew that, why would he just allow that to be? No, he doesn't know.
I don't.
He doesn't
I don't
trust
think that's the
her.
character. Like again, we're talking about best character, not best story.
Yeah.
So it's like we.
But yeah, as a character, I think he belongs on the list.
I would say in a top 3. Would I assume we would only have one dispatch character in the top 3?
No, we can have whatever we want.
But
we've still got quite a lot.
If you had to only have one,
if you had to only have one, it would be Robbie for me.
I'd be Chase for me. See,
I think as a character, as his character in what he is, I would pick, because again, Robbie was very malleable, and Robbie, and I don't know how much it would have changed, but he was a malleable character whereas Chase was going to make that sacrifice no matter what. And the fact that his character did that, and then the little flashback scene where you see what he was always like with Robbie, and you get all this like that, like he's an old man who's not an old man, but then when you see him as a young man, the character is the same. I think he was just really well written as well, because obviously he's very foul-mouthed and it's all played for laughs, but also, and he's not even like, oh, he's foul-mouthed, but he's got a heart of gold, because he hasn't got a heart of gold until that moment when he's like, makes a
grumpy fuck for
he's
most
just a
of
grumpy bastard, and I was like happy with him being that. But then when he's like, and I said to Adam as well, there's a moment where in that bit where he said, and this is the other reason why I wish they'd just left him dead, because he says he does keep up and he runs, and the smile on his face while he's running, because he hasn't been able to do it because it'd kill him, and now he's accepted that he's gonna die, but he's dying as a hero is what that is fucking character writing. He's probably the best character of the year.
Who are we actually cutting then out of this lot?
I've got someone else I can suggest.
Yeah.
Atsu. Okay. I really like Atsu, but
I like Atsu. I'm struggling to see why she stays in top 3. But she is cool. I tell you what, though, she is cool because she's not a Mary Sue character. She's not infallible. Like, she's quite deeply flawed in a lot of ways. Like, she fucks up a lot in the story. She makes silly decisions, and she does things wrong. And she leads with her head far too much. But she's written in that way. And she's not written in a way like, oh, she's just a badass female protagonist that's just going to kick everyone's ass. Like, she constantly gets herself in trouble by just being too hell-bent too single-minded on revenge. But also, like, I really like the fact that they made her so mercenary. Like, she's so mercenary. It's always like, what are you going to pay me? Like, how much money is involved? Like, they never shy away from the fact that that's what she does for a living. She's a bounty hunter. She's making money. And like, I think there's some good character stuff when they introduce, like, you find out her brother's still alive, and it's not like she's not soppy with him. She's just like, I don't know you. Like, you're my brother.
That was
but,
weird. That seems quite weird to me.
Yeah, I liked it though, because it was like, I haven't seen you for 15 years. I got over your death, but then obviously through the story, they do start to bond, and then there's other characters later that took her in like slightly surprising directions for me.
So are we cutting that one though?
I think she doesn't stay, because if anyone thought it would be me or Kieran, and Kieran suggested the cut. So
okay, well, I've cut. I'm also going to suggest Remy as a cut.
Yes, yeah. That's
because I don't think he's well written.
Yeah, he's well acted
and well acted, but I don't think he's actually like a character you ever warm to.
He's quite a fairly generic in terms
he is,
of like.
But also I think there's more to it in that. Like, they very clearly are hoping this is going to be a more than a one and done game.
Yeah,
there is an awful lot. Oh yeah, I hope so too. But there is an awful lot more of his character to develop in future games. As a single standalone game, you don't ever really warm to him, and
almost intentionally so. They keep
but the story itself based around the character. It's almost not about him. It's about what's happened to get him where he is and what's going to happen next. And we don't actually know that because we see the end of this. Yeah, so I think he's quite an easy cut. As well written as he is, it's not a character you see. You don't see that kind of character writing an awful lot in games. Certainly not in big budget sort of. I was going to say AAA, double A and a half.
Yeah, kind of.
But he's a cut, I think. So
yeah, he's a cut. What about
because we have a cunt then? But I don't think you did. He's a bit
because we haven't. I know we're going to have to talk about the fact that there's still 2 dispatch and 200 line characters on the list. Who's fighting for? And I'm only asking because I haven't played enough of the game to even meet this character yet. Who's fighting for tomorrow? Staying.
Who's fighting for tomorrow?
Yeah.
I think I might have put her on there, unless it was you, Adam. I can't remember.
No, I don't think so. I would. I think it was you, probably.
I mean, she looked cool in the trailers. But
I can't remember why I put her on there, to be honest.
She does some badass stuff in
Well, I guess it's because of who she is, without spoiling, and she is pretty badass. But as a character, I'm struggling a little bit to place her personality other than she reminds me, she's a little bit analogous to the character in Metal Gear Solid 5 that breathes to her skin.
Quiet.
Yeah, in that she's not quite that. I think I'm being a little unfair, but she is the quiet one in that she doesn't know what's going on because she can't remember, and that means that a lot of her character building is based around world building and what she physically does, which is badass. But I don't.
And then she's defined by the twist of who she is as well.
And like that twist again isn't so much about her character as I think it's one of the few twists where I think you probably do see it a little bit coming.
Yeah,
I don't know.
She makes the top 3.
No,
I think a lot of it was down to just she does have a lot of cool moments, and there's probably there's probably some moments worth talking about at some point. But as a character, she can go.
I mean, a lot of the foot stuff puts me off. I think the Kojima foot stuff is
that's
like
Kojima stuff, though, isn't it?
that puts me off a little bit.
Beautiful woman with some kind of weird flaw, or and then she's got her feet out.
I mean, most women have got feet, in fairness, but like,
well, they don't all have them out all the time, wherever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, look, it's a weird game. It's a weird game.
Yeah, I think Lyle, you got to address the fact that there's 200 line characters still on this list, and I don't believe there's a world where they both make it.
It'd be a bit weird if it did, but I'm not against it. But yeah, we should go into super ridiculous 100-line spoiler time, I'm afraid, for anyone who.
So that klaxon you can hear.
That's the klaxon. It's going off in the background. You can hear it. Hope you edited that one in, Adam.
Nope.
Sure you definitely. Oh, but there it is.
There it is. Cool. Really realistic as well.
So I'll start with the less spoilery of the two, of Darumi, who is like ridiculous, over the top goth emo girl who. So if you've played games by the 100-line people before, you'll know, like Danganronpa, for example, you'll know that like the whole point of Danganronpa is like it's a big murder game where people are going to die and all this stuff. And in 100-line, there are a group of, teens who are in a sort of similar situation of being trapped somewhere and not knowing why. And Darumi is just obsessed with shouting, "Oh, it's definitely a murder game," and trying to make everyone like start with there being a murder game. She's just trying constantly to have death and misery happen. Constantly, like literally will not stop. She'll also call the main character like a pervert at every opportunity and just like be horrible at every opportunity in that sort of way. But she's also got more of a sort of backstory if you go into it as well, where like it comes across that she's like just a weird death obsessed dick, for want of better term. But like as you play further into the game, if you like try and do sort of friendship stuff with her, or maybe explore more things with her in potentially other endings, like she's got like the most tragic of backstories of like that, like her parents like fed her dog food and beat the shit out of her a lot, and like her dad was a gambling addict, and it's basically all this stuff about her being like essentially just having no self-worth and just wanting, like, basically embracing death because she just like doesn't think she is worthy of anything else, and just sort of makes that her character. It's kind of Like, there's a lot more to it than it sounds like, because she sort of almost seems silly with how obsessed with like murder games she is.
I'd argue it's almost annoying, actually. The first
it is almost annoying,
the first half of definitely. The first playthrough, it's almost annoying, where a lot 100%. Of the time is spent with less serious stuff because you don't know what's coming, and it's more traditional kind of Danganronpa style stuff where you're interacting with characters, like it almost, like you say, it's almost
making bonds, try to have a nice time, like,
and it's like it's kind of like, all right, wind your neck in. Do you know what I mean? It's like, we get the joke, but like you say, there's more.
It does feel like it is just a joke to start with, and it definitely doesn't feel like that by the end of the game once you've learned more. And because of that, really good character. Should we go into super duper mega spoiler territory and go for the next character of 100 Line? Maybe the most spoiler that we could ever go for.
Go on then.
It's up to you entirely. The weird thing about this game is, I think, because there's so much character interaction and because there's so many characters, like the one I thought you would have picked isn't on this list. I would have thought perhaps like Nozomi might have made a.
Yeah, another good. I mean, to be honest, I could have a top fucking 10
this
list.
This is kind of what this is my worry about that game.
It's difficult for that.
I mean, by all means, again, I don't think Kieran has much choice in this. I mean, Mick and Steve aren't going to play it, so
yeah. I do feel a bit bad. I don't like.
Yeah, I know, that's the thing, because like you don't want them to not enjoy it.
It's fine. It's not a problem.
I mean, you've kind of got to, Lyle, because if you don't convince us that it belongs on the list, it's 100%. Not going to be on the list. You know what I mean?
I'll have forgotten by the time we play anyway. By the time I play it, so.
Great. Okay. So, Aito is a character.
Really.
I know.
It's really, really big. Like it's
I suppose by saying it's really big, we've almost revealed kind of that there's already a big thing. Like there'll be a level of expecting it.
He's everyone's dad.
He's everyone's dad. It's everyone's siblings.
Do you know what?
He's
There's
dad.
Probably an ending where that is true. I wouldn't be surprised.
Very plausible.
I mean, you got to if you don't spoil it, he's not going to make the list because I've got no reason to keep him on.
Spoil or cut.
It is your call. I'm going to shut up. You make the decision.
Yeah. I'm spoiling then. We have to, because otherwise we're not talking
bear in
about
mind you might spoil and he still doesn't make the list. We don't know.
That is possible.
If you want to hold him and then wait and get rid of something else first, that's up to you.
Yeah.
But if you want to go,
I think we'll do it now. And yeah, I mean, I just think for a Game of the Year podcast, if he's not talked about in that regard, then I'm doing it from the content standpoint over anything else. But why Aito is probably would be my number one in general of this list. He's sort of like your first strong ally in the game, where essentially you're trying to defend a high school against otherworldly monsters, and your sort of main character ends up being the de facto leader in the end of this group. And Aito's like the one person who's like sort of stands up and is with you and feels really with you for the game. His backstory is like he was very ill growing up, so he's not used to socializing with people, and he's been very sheltered because of this, and generally just like he comes across as this very likable, if a bit reserved and a bit shy guy who just wants to have a go at making a new friend and be on your side a bit. Quite likable, not maybe necessarily the most like impactful or amazing of characters, but he's very much on your side, and it feels nice that you've at least got an ally in this game where most people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I don't want to do these life and death things, I'm a teenager. And then when you get to basically there comes a point quite early on where there is clearly some sort of traitor amongst your group of people who is, fucking things up, like destroying like food supplies and stuff. And it is Aito. And the reason for this, and he sort of is a part of being a big bad, but the reason for all this is that he basically, as he has like a condition basically where he has like some sort of thing where everything to do with humans, he has like a cognitive
reverse
defect
body
or
dysmorphia.
something. Yeah. So like anytime he sees a person, he sees like a fucking hideous monster.
Yeah.
If he hears them, it's like nails on a chalkboard constantly. If he smells them, it's like vomit. Like he literally everything about him as a person, he cannot comprehend, and they just seem awful. And he's diagnosed with this very young and is like obviously living a life of like being horrified by all these things. And then like, you know, to try and sort of like carry on living a normal life with this, he goes to like he keeps to himself a lot, and he decides to like study humanity to try and get to understand the world. And he learns about all the wars that humanity have had, and he learns about all the like horrible like homophobia and, you know, like all the bad shit that humans have got done. And he's like, I see humans as being horrible. I also like literally everything I comprehend about them is repulsive to me, and all I've heard about them is that they are like evil. I want it. If I ever get the opportunity to destroy all of humanity, it would be the best thing I could ever do. And that's essentially what his entire goal is in this game, is because you know because that drives him to betray you. It drives him to try and derail the game as much as possible. And I just like, it's a super wild, interesting character that
Why
I
is he
just
friends
think
with you in the first place?
Infiltration.
I mean, he's basically
There's
just
not easier
pretending.
ways for him to do what he's trying to do than
not
infiltrate
in
a
the
group
world
of
that this,
teenagers
no
and-
that so there's a large bit of narrative that explains why you are shut in with X amount of
you're
people. Like,
basically
it's not
like
chosen
there's a world-ending scenario where from
only
what
teenagers
seems
can
like
save the world. That's Japanese.
yeah, by
world.
like random chance, like you are shut away from the entire world.
Yeah.
You are trapped in a high school. There are like 12 of you or whatever, and you are given the task of fight against these aliens or the world ends. And he's one of the people in this group, and you're the leader. So it's like, why would he not befriend you to try and then betray everyone? Because he does not want to save the world. He wants to do the exact opposite.
Keep your friends close and your enemies close.
And he
I guess.
couldn't just like stab you all while you sleep.
I mean, he does.
He does do
there
that
are things
too,
that happen, yeah. But like,
Yeah.
obviously, there's also a lot of things in terms of like, it's kind of hard to get into every
Like-
little bit of nitty gritty about
Yeah.
like the situation. But yeah, he does everything he can in lots of ways to completely and utterly fuck things over, while also
Yeah, this isn't a MacGuffin where you're like at the end of it, like you say, well, why didn't he just do that? Like he is basically taking every opportunity to fuck with you, and you just don't know it. Like you just know
and to him,
something's
this is-
going wrong.
And to him, this is like literally like his one opportunity to do the one thing he thinks is right to happen
Yes.
in the world. So he's trying not to fuck it up by doing something
Yes.
rash, I guess, in some certain situations. Yeah,
Fair enough.
he's a very good character. And
I mean, how far do we want to go with this? Because there is more. Once you hit the credits and start your second play, there is more.
I mean,
There's
look,
more and
the,
more
the
and
big
more, but, like,
question I
yeah.
think before you spoil any more is like, is he? If he's a lock, you don't need to spoil anymore. If he's not a lock, you don't need to spoil anymore. So, like, what are we saying? Because
well, hang on. First of all, are we cutting Darumi?
probably. I mean, I was more impacted by Aito personally. That would be my
me
choice.
Really
too, I
sounds
would
like the
agree.
less interesting character of the two.
Darumi, I didn't get a lot of. I don't remember seeing a lot of the stuff you mentioned.
Yeah,
so
and that's more like
I don't know if that's different playthroughs and
different, like, yeah, there are different ways to get a lot of different things in this game. If that isn't apparent, you know.
yeah.
because
Okay.
like it's difficult. It's like we've had like you've told us a lot about him and it's good, but I think like he feels to me like a character that I need to play the game to understand
You
why.
would, yeah, you would.
like
And a
him
lot
so
of
much.
why
So,
this
like-
game is good requires you to have so
Yeah,
much
and-
mechanically and
So where I'm
narratively spoiled.
weary, yeah. So which is why I'm wary of spoiling any more story.
Yeah, we would have to get into like spoiling playthrough 2 and 3.
Because-
and, like,
yeah.
this.
At
I
this
don't
point,
think
we've
you could tell me
spoiled the
anything-
first playthrough, and that's okay,
Basically.
you know.
And,
Yeah,
and-
that
and I
is
don't
not
think
all of
you
the
could-
story.
Yeah, I'm not sure you could tell me anything else that would make me decide whether this character's on the list or not, because I've not experienced this character. So like, maybe don't spoil any more if you don't need to. Is
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think I'll leave that for now, and we'll see what happens with the rest of the list, and then if we come back round, we'll see what happens there too.
Maybe,
you know?
yeah.
I mean, we're getting close already.
Because I think
we've
I
only got-
really want it. I really, really want Kieran to convince me that I'm being dead serious now, because my experience of Nate in the first 2 hours is obviously
Please do
a guy who can't form a fucking sentence constantly, and it's like, I get it, and I was thinking to myself, if this is what he's like for the next fucking 8 hours, and then I found out that it's a 15-hour game, and I was like, I can't abide this motherfucker anymore. So I want to know
skill issue.
Why a guy in a why a grown man?
I played 10 minutes of it and couldn't get up a hill. So like, I'm not bad mouthing your skill issues.
Because there's some funny characters that I met straight away, like there's because everyone's Australian.
I never got to see the donkey dicks in that game, and that's really upsetting to me.
Get that far.
No, that's really genuinely that's most disappointing moment of the year for me. I didn't get to see.
But the voice acting is such a weird element of this game. The way everyone kind of talks like they're trying to get a sentence out before they have to go, and it's like
it's that weird improv style, isn't it? Like
that wasn't Welsh.
I know it was.
I would say, because I do agree with you. At the start, he is very much like that, and it is like that throughout the whole game. But like I said before, the part of it which I think is he's written in written to an extent, because obviously a lot of it is improvised, but his character is I think a really accurate depiction of what certain aspects of anxiety are like. Struggling to get sentences out.
Thank you, Kieran, for the certain aspect. I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Like the other one that struck me immediately was like, he's offered help. He's offered a map and a grappling hook and something else that's gone out of my head now. Stuff that he needs to get through this world.
I relate to dreaming about needing a piss constantly. That's like my number one dream.
Just age, mate.
There's nowhere to go.
But he will turn down help to his own detriment because he doesn't want to put people out or be involved in a conversation with them because he doesn't know what to do. And I think that is so...
Just trying to get you some
shoes. It's like, well, yeah, shoes. That was it. Shoes was the other one. I couldn't think what it was.
I mean, some clothes would be fairly useful in that situation.
Just in a really dirty onesie for the whole.
I think that element of his character is so well done, and you never see anything like that in games normally. If you think about when the few times that you do see anxiety depicted in a game,
I can't think of one. If you can name one, by all means, because I can't think of. Aside, like
there is some.
Aside from they mix it in with more like.
It'd be like PTSD or something. Mix it in with that, and it'll be like the screen starts pulsing and the controller starts vibrating.
Like the one I would say was closest for me ever, and I know you all know this, is in Ted Lasso.
Yeah,
that's the closest I've ever seen any media ever get to what I would see as like a real, genuine, like full-on anxiety attack. That's the closest I've ever seen that I would be like, that I would remember watching that and being like, I actually feel a bit fucking uncomfortable now, and almost want to turn to my wife and go, that.
You feel seen, don't you, based on what you're seeing on that character?
But like, so I haven't played enough to get that from there, obviously, but I totally take your word for it, and it is, I mean, I can't think of many games that get that depiction correct.
No,
more
and
like you say, the shaking screen and shit. Like and
it's not just that, like his, like I said, his backstory is not as dark as some of those ones Lyle just listed, but
no,
his backstory is essentially he is a loser that sits in his mum's basement watching whatever that anime is, some anime. Is it One Piece?
Yeah.
Oh, it is One Piece. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And there's a point in the game where, again, he's trying to get to the top of the mountain because he's trying to find somewhere to go for a piss, basically, because he's that anxious that he cannot piss somewhere without a door and enclosed, essentially. And there's a point, there's a place you go to where you can make a wish, and the whole way he's going there, he's thinking about what he's basically, what he wants is he wants to go home. And he's got the donkeys telling him, "Don't wish for that. Wish for cigarettes for us." They spent like 2 hours trying to convince him to wish for cigarettes for them. He gets there, and there's like a quick flash of his previous life sat on the sofa in front of One Piece, and he makes a wish, and you don't explicitly hear what it is. He doesn't say it out loud, but the implication that he's basically wished to die because he doesn't think his life is worth living, and he gets told, "Sorry, mate, it doesn't work like that," and he has to carry on with the rest of his journey. And the fact that they've been able to write a character that is on the surface level that fucking stupid and that silly and meme malicious and streamer fodder, and build that level of depth and emotion into his character, I think is what. That's why I love the game.
I mean,
it's
not
the game.
Not to get too
It's not
dark,
the
but
story.
like, you know, what you've described there is the kind of thing of almost like wanting to have it not to blink out of existence, but actually not having the word courage is incorrect to use there, but you know what I'm like, without really getting into Bleaksville, like there are ways out, but you can't do it. Like that is I would not. You've made me want to play it again. If I'm absolutely honest with you.
My big issue is that you've got to play 15 or
but
20
that's
hours
not.
of
But
that
we're not. This
game
isn't.
to get
That's
to
why
that
this is
character.
best new character, not best
Yes,
game.
but my point is, I only know about that character because you've told me. Like,
but you only know about Ito because we can't all play everything.
But that's my point. My point is though that you like the Nate. So this is the difference is in like if you weren't reviewing the game, like you asked, like and maybe Kieran would, maybe you would have played it even if you weren't reviewing it. But like, there's nothing about the character that gives you that unless you play the game. So like, it's not the and then you only get it in the denouement at the end.
There are cutscenes at the very start that tell you about what he's like as a human. Like you might get the initial feeling.
Sleepwalking. What I mean is like but it is true, Adam. Like
that's not what I got from it at all.
Anything about his. So you did because earlier on you said that you didn't connect him to anxiety.
No, I didn't because there's multiple forms of anxiety.
But now you're saying that you did get that.
No, I got that he was like you. I can't remember who said it, but like, you know, like a basement dweller who's not got out in the world is what I got from it.
Yeah, but he doesn't get out in the world, does he? Because it's a dream. Like, he's dreaming, isn't he? He's in a dream. So like, yeah, like he is dreaming.
I don't think it's ever fully explained because again,
he's on the couch and then he's like, I felt it was quite clearly a dream, especially with the dream logic of the world.
But if what Kieran's saying, but again, that's if we're talking about best new character, if what Kieran's saying is his character Nate in Baby Steps is an allegory for a version of anxiety that exists out in the world, whether the game's good or shit is irrelevant if we're talking about best new character.
It doesn't really matter how quickly the character reveals itself to get to that point either, necessarily.
While I didn't get like, oh, this is about anxiety from the first cutscene and then like the first meeting with the Australian dude and possibly the second, I forget how. I didn't play much. I can only confess I didn't play much. It bounced hard off me.
Yeah.
And I also think there is a world where one day I go back to this with more time on my hands and I'm like, okay, I've got the patience for this right now. And there's no argument for me that I can hear about like it make this, and we'll get into this more in the days to come. There's no argument I will be able to defend if you say like it's one of the best 10, and I'm going to be like, but as a game, I can't agree with that, and we're jumping ahead a bit.
Yeah, fair.
But that's because I just didn't have the patience for the gameplay. If the character you're describing is what the character is and is expressed in that way through the writing, through the interactions as the progression of his character. You know, I like a game where a character progresses as a person, and if that's the thing that happens, then I genuinely think this is the best argument I've heard for this game on any list. I'm not saying I think it wins, but like
its growth is genuinely really good, and by the end of the game, the payoff. There's two payoffs. If you go the extra mile, you see him take a piss, because obviously he's been talking about that for the whole game. The payoff for me is when you get to the cabin of, he eventually makes friends with one of the donkeys, which is something I'll bring up in another category. But he essentially gets to the cabin where this donkey lives, and he knocks on the door, and the guy answers, and they have a quick chat, and then he goes back in, and Nate knocks again, and you can tell what he wants to ask is, can I come in? Can I come in and sit down and use the toilet and have a chat with you? And by the end of the game, he manages to do that. It's the first time in the entire game that he's actually asked for help or had
which is a major character development.
Yeah, and they end it on a funny note, because he goes in to take a piss, and then he screams, "There's no door," because the cabin's still being built. So they filter that humor in throughout every part of his character. But I just think the growth is fantastic, and I can't. It feels real to me. It's just.
It's also a lot of why I think Baby Steps did deserve to be on the nicest surprise list, because this is the side of the game that to me was a surprise playing it, and Yeah, I
That's
just
fair.
yeah.
And it's hard to see this stuff. I appreciate that. I mean, the game's actively fighting you at times to
Oh yeah.
to see these things by design.
What you're describing, I would absolutely love, resonate with me, and would be champion for you if I had seen it.
Yeah,
Personally,
you know what it reminds me
speaking,
of?
but-
It reminds me of what was that game that everyone said was like a really good allegory for depression and anxiety? Was it Celeste? That was
Yes,
lauded
that
for that.
has a whole background to it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, broadly
in my
speaking,
mind.
yeah.
That this is like how people spoke about that is how I feel about Baby Steps and Nate as a character. I just think his development is such a good, accurate depiction of this
So,
stuff.
at the risk,
I'm not saying he makes the final list because there's four good characters there.
You've convinced me that he's not an easy cut. Let's put it that way.
yeah, but what is then? Because we need 2 to go.
After talking about everyone,
I'll be honest. The only dog I'm fighting for on this list is Chase. So like and I'm not saying he makes a cut because I want him, but my point is like you guys can thrash out as many of these as you like. 'Cause I literally haven't even experienced
No, Nate
2
and
of them,
Aito.
you know. So like
There's
I'll have
SK
experienced
cool
Nate,
places.
and again, but I haven't experienced enough of Nate, and I'm not going to because I will not push myself through that game.
The worry I have for SK is that he's not quite as heavy hitter a character as what's been talked about in the
He's comic relief
in that
in a way.
There's more to him, I think, than that.
Yeah.
Like there is a lot more. He is an important character. Like he's really important to the world and the characters that are with him. But when you are actually talking development, how he's written, and the impact on us as like resonating with us.
At this point, I would cut SKA and probably Mecha.
Really like SK.
I think I'd probably cut Mecha Man because again, we've said it. He's very malleable. You can play him different ways. None of us know whether that makes a big impact or not because we haven't done it. And I think of the 2 dispatch characters on there, Chase is stronger.
If you're going to choose one out of the 2, you'd definitely take Chase.
Because again, Robbie's growth is very much down to the player. Like which direction his character grows in really is down to you at the end. You get to choose whether you beat Shroud to death on the pavement or you don't. You know what I mean? That's which I did, and it felt fucking great. But I know a lot of people didn't. And
No,
like but you get to make that choice, not
I wanted to.
It's not the character.
Both of
because
those
it felt right
choices,
for my character.
both those choices to me feel like they could have equal weight given the rest of his character.
yeah,
That's
Both-
true.
Oh, I mean,
it
it's a
doesn't
revenge
feel
story.
like you're making explicit making him evil or good.
No,
You could see a way in
No,
which
because
you
I
could
beat
justify
Shroud to
either
death.
or.
Yeah, I killed Shroud, but my ending was
same.
still Robbie was a hero. He's still the hero. It wasn't like, oh, you've gone down a dark path. They didn't.
I mean, he did
and I'm-
threaten that dog, Mick. Come on.
Exactly, which is what I did. That's why I did it.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a way you can make beef thin, and then it changes
What?
that ending. Yeah, something
What?
like if you call him a good boy and don't give him the cereal, beef doesn't get fat through the story.
I
And
want
then
my
it
little prince to be a
changes-
fat little
it
dog.
like I think like Shroud can't pick him up because he gets away because he's not fat and
Squirrely.
slow. I'm sure someone said there's a different way you can do that. But anyway, like
I don't
I
want
think
that
that
ending.
Is it
I
too
feel
late to
like-
add beef as best?
Yeah,
in character?
beef. Yeah. You can beef
But
win this.
I do think that Robbie is a fantastic character. Aaron Paul is superb at playing him. Every line is a banger. Like genuinely, every line is a banger. Some of the way he sits and is just so pissed off throughout. Like and his development in that he hates said team, and then by like the halfway point, he's warming to him because he doesn't want to give up on him. And then by the end, he's just like, "These are my guys."
Hang on, you're
Like,
talking him back into the list now.
I am, yeah, because now I'm thinking maybe he does belong.
It's the way Aaron Paul just disappears into that character as well, man, because it can be seen as here's headline actor, this is the star of the show.
I mean, as
And
well,
then
he's very.
An episode in, he's disappeared into Robbie.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's never that headline. It's never look at the celebrity we got. Never.
He's also like a really dour, pissed off, cranky character who is
Yes.
just
Well,
never
he's got
not
right
likable.
to be, though, isn't he?
No,
He's
but
got
I'm
right to
saying,
be.
yeah, he has. But I'm saying he's never not likable with it. There's never a point where you're like, oh, stop being pissed off for 5 minutes.
So-
It's never like that.
So Lyle, who would you cut from this? I mean,
We're
two
doing-
need to go. But...
I think the first one that I feel like is the easy cut, which is a weird thing to say, is Esky of Claire Obscure. Really, of everyone here, I feel like that is the one where I'm like, well, And I'm not saying I don't like that character too. Like, very, very good addition to that game. But for me, for what I have played of Claire Obscure at this point, it will be finished by the last date upgrade.
It's actually bothering me we haven't got another Claire Obscure character in this list now. I'm thinking about it, but like it's too late. It's too late.
But to me, in general, that's a game where I think the overall story is what I've been finding more impressive than the individual characters, maybe. So,
I mean,
I think that's what I felt like with a lot.
The fact we haven't got Mael in here. But
I wish I'd put Mael on the list.
But I don't want to add her and spoil for Lyle.
It's too late.
I don't want to.
Yes, and no, yeah.
So listen. Is anyone gonna say keep SK apart from me?
I would keep.
I don't know them at all. So I got nothing to back on that.
Yeah, I'd keep SK over Nate and Ito, but only through experience, because I don't like Nate, but I haven't played enough to see what Kieran saw, and I haven't played 100 Line, but the compelling arguments for Nate and
I don't
Ito,
think I can't muster that same argument for SK.
Yeah, they're too strong. Like Kieran described Nate's character as too strong.
Bye SK. Lyle, go on, stick with you.
Basically, I feel like where we're at is that the two I think, based on what we've all said, that are locks in this are Chase and Nate, and I think that it's then a discussion of if we want Robbie Robertson or Ito to be the next one. I think that's where we are. I know that I'd obviously be on the 100 Line side, like regardless. But I also think that if it doesn't land that way,
well, we don't know where Chase and Adam land in that particular. Do you know what I mean? So there's still some play for either.
Of the four, fucking hell, I love this game, and I keep feeling like I'm cutting it, but I'd cut Ito.
Yeah, I think in the same way what I said about Claire Obscure is that it's a game of the overall story rather than the characters. I think like we were saying at the start with 100 Line, that is a game where we could have had every character from the game pretty much in that list, and it would be compelling. And because that, I almost think that they are all that good, I don't really want to necessarily fight for every single one instead.
Yes.
And the place that I would fight for that game is best story, and better be ready for day 4 because that's what will be happening.
I really think best story's got to be a top 5 this year before we go into. I really do, man. There's too much good.
It is, mate. Haven't you seen?
Is it a top 5? Oh, is it a top 5?
Yeah,
he's just changed it
in the dark now.
I was actually going to talk to you guys after the recording.
We've done it.
No, I was going to mention this after they've finished recording and be like, we do have to make that one a 5.
There's too much. There's too much this year. We will get nasty if it's not a top 5.
So of the top 3, I'm not going to say this because we literally said it. One of the other cats, because we already gave away like the winner of Nicest Surprise before we arranged them. Excuse me, but you guys can. I want to say you guys. I mean the people on this podcast. You can see the list. Does number 1 pretty much? Is that correct? Number 1.
I think
one's
number
good
1
for
makes
me.
sense.
Every time he was on screen, it brought a smile to my face.
Yeah.
Every single
that could be
time.
anybody because they're all 3
Yeah.
men.
They're all perfect.
So you're not but. So what are we, again? And I know this is weird to people who can't see it or read it. What are we thinking 2 and 3? Is that right or the wrong way round?
I think
I'd
that's
swap
the
them.
wrong way round. I'd swap them too.
I'd swap them purely on the strength of Kieran's argument.
That's
I
where
agree.
I'm at. Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Kieran, you got
done
this
it.
game in 2 lists, man.
I know.
Yes, but Nick, to be
One of
clear,
them's not even the bottom of the
that's
list.
where it needs to
Bennett
stop.
Body in the tweet when it goes out.
That is exactly where it needs to stop. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll read them then. We've done it. Best new character, top 3 is, in third place, Mecha Man / Robbie Robertson from Dispatch. Second place, Nate from Baby Steps. And the best new character of 2025 is Chase from Dispatch. And that is day 3 in the books. Tomorrow is going to be very spoilery. It is best story, which is a top 5 currently, and best moment, which is also a top 5, and then we'll be back for the finale on day 5 where we talk about our most wanted games of 2026, and we will somehow fashion, oh my god, as I scroll down, that is some list. There is a massive list that we need to get into a top 10 of some description. Thank you to Steve, to Kieran, to Mick, to Lyle and to you, dear listener or watcher, for enduring our arguments, and we hope you enjoyed it. We always do ourselves, and we will probably speak to you tomorrow. And if you haven't caught up in other ones, go back, because you got Best Spectacle, Best Re-Release, Best Multiplayer. Go back and catch up on them if you're like, I need to know I wanted to jump in with Nicest surprise. Some people might do that. Thank you very much, and we'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye bye for now.